What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den this morning. Apologize for the slight delay. But let's get into it, man. Today should be a very good conversation. I'm your host. Excuse me. Yeah, grief. Breakfast, gotta settle down. I'm your host, Ed Honcho. You can catch me on the proper social medias, Instagram and Twitter, Ed Honcho HTX. If you want to follow my personal social medias. If you want to follow all the Den Show social medias, you can go to Den Show Live on almost any major platform, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you want to send an email, you go to denshowlive@gmail if you have some thoughts and things that you would like to share. And I know a couple of you have, and I have to, I'm going to get with that. You guys have sent some very interesting stories, so I'm definitely going to try to get to those today. As I said, I do want to pump out more content. If you ever want to call the den, whether we're live or not, you can always call 833-284-3336. If I don't answer, you can always leave a voicemail. The voicemail box gets full quite often. I tend to try to save the messages, and I'll try to get to them. Like sometimes it gets a little warm, and now I'm getting used to some of the things I'm trying to accomplish here. Hey, hit that like button if you OG. If you're new to this, hit that subscribe button first, then hit that like button, so that you can make sure you catch all the lives. Hit that bell too, because the bell is very important. If you ain't hitting that bell, then well, you're gonna miss out on some great conversation, the best conversation on the internet. And the reason why I call this the best conversation on the internet is because you guys make it great. And again, as I always say, it is an honor and a privilege to have this opportunity to chop it up with you guys Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. and live every night at 10 p.m. Central Time. Den at 10, remember that. It's the easiest way so you never forget. You just know if it's 10 o'clock at night, well, maybe not, depending on where you're at. Den at 10 Central Time, that's all I'm going to say. And then at 10 a.m. on weekdays. If you want to support the channel, you can always make a one-time donation to streamlabs.com/The Den Show. You have various options of payment methods there. And if you'd like to make a monthly pledge to the channel, you can go to patreon.com/The Den Show. And make a monthly pledge. There's several reward tiers on the Patreon pledges. So shout out to everybody who has been supporting Stina Starry, Dan, James Martin, and Miss Goya. I appreciate the love and the Patreon support. So thank you again for that. Let's get into the conversation today, and I think it should be very interesting. I think it's going to be extremely interesting. Okay, everything is good. Shout out to Justice Johnson. I don't know if they're watching the video, if they're in the live stream, but yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, you ain't lying, Jack. I'm gonna have to get it all together. Hey, if I see some of these other folks, they can manage one deep. I can manage one deep. I just got to get more organized. So let's see. We have joined us this morning. We got to remember that if I say fucking evening, pardon me, players fuck up, but let's see who we have joined us this morning, and then we're going to get into some good conversation, man, and then we'll go from there. I see Miss Bell. Shout out to Miss Bell. How you doing this morning, Miss Bell? Miss Meat. All the misses in this morning. AB, what's the motherfucking deal? Kanisha asks, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. DeMarkey holding it down for the mods. Okay, hey, shout out to DeMarkey. Maribel, what's the motherfucking deal? Tina, how you doing this morning? NPC, what's the motherfucking deal? Mr. Nice Guy. Let's see, Cynthia Hammonds, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us this morning. OJ Jackson, what's the motherfucking deal? I'm not black, nigga, I'm OJ. And Simpin Ken, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Always good to see you. So, let's talk about it. Danny B. Moore, how you doing this morning? Glad you could join us. Excuse me. I got coffee voice, or I got not enough coffee voice going on here. So let's talk about it, man. We want to talk about today, can a single mother raise a man? And I like to get my spiel first, then as we get into it. I'm going to put it to you in a short form, okay? The answer is yes, they can. But the truth is, the likelihood is not very good. So yes, we can always there'll always be those outliers and say, hey, well, it'll always be people who say, yeah, I did it. I raised a good son. I raised this. But in reality, the statistics say no. The statistics say that they're more likely to end up in some type of legal trouble, legal issues, problems or whatever. And then if you go back and you ask a lot of these men who were raised by single mothers, there's something you got to notice. Like even when, because the story's always those Katies of the world. Hey mom, you the real MVP. those stories are what they love. But even though I don't like Steph Curry, what happens when Steph Curry gives a shout out to his father and, what he did for him. They don't ever talk about that. They don't want that story getting put out there. But KD says, hey, Mom, you're the real MVP. Everybody loves it. But if you listen to a lot of these athletes, a lot of these men who become successful, there's always a little caveat in what they say when they speak on it. And they're not saying that their mom didn't do a good job, but they always say she did the best she could. She did the best job she could. And especially with a lot of these athletes, there's always a coach or a particular male figure that they reference to that, helped them get to this next level. Yeah, and I agree, Danny boy. You can raise one, but you can't necessarily teach them. And there's certain things that, as a man, you can only learn from another man. And I know women who are in this situation. This is not to discount the hard work. This is not discounting what you are doing, but there's just certain factors that I don't want to say you'd be oblivious to, but that being a man entails. And I say, my mom, I felt like she did a pretty good job. But there are issues that I had, and we've talked about it. There's things that I told her that I wish would have, went differently. But you can't change that. Now I'm grown. It's on me. But I understand why. I understand, her thought process in doing those things. But she loved the way a mother loves. Even though I still have a lot of my father's habits. So my thing is this. This is not saying that women aren't doing the best they can, but I think there is a level of disconnect when understanding this. And we kind of talked about this briefly last night. And what I was saying is just that you can do a lot of the physical things, but there's a mentality that men will always have. One, in connection to their real father or some type of father figure to help them understand things. A woman will raise a man to the standard of the man she would like to have. And I know that may not be the most favorable thing with most people. This is true. When it comes to understanding how to deal with women don't know how to deal with other women, truthfully. They may know, hey, some women are catty or some women are this or some women are that. But the majority of them will raise a son, and when they try to teach him about relationships and things like that, they'll try to teach him how to deal with a woman like them, not to how to deal with a woman that exists in the real world. When it comes to certain things, women don't realize the difference in treatment in everyday society. And so you can't necessarily explain from a firsthand perspective to your son why he's receiving certain treatments. You can explain emotionally. I know there's a lot of parents who feel like, race is a thing that is impacting a lot of young black boys. So I know I see a lot of women who speak on that. But it's difficult to speak on it from that perspective as a woman than it is from a man. And let me tell you, I say it all the time. I'm not going to sit here and say that racism doesn't exist. It does. Is it as prevalent as everybody tries to make it? No, it depends on where you are, maybe. But like I say, I'm in MAGA country. I live around mainly Caucasians. I think this area is like, these people would probably be like 80%, probably like 73, 75% now. I'm out about every day. Have never had an issue. Now, there's a difference in being a black man and being a large black man, okay? You take the Kevin Harts, you laugh at them. There's no threat from a Kevin Hart or a little funny guy or Eddie Murphy or a Martin type character. You're not threatened. Being a large black man, you will receive a different response. So again, there's just certain things that a father or a male figure from experience can teach a son that a woman may only know from anecdotes or from hearing someone else say it. So it's maybe a vicarious story or something like that. And so all I'm saying is this is not because some of y'all will take it personally. This is not to negate the jobs that good mothers are doing. But let's speak on that aspect too. Are there not a lot of shitty mothers? There's a lot of mothers who are not raising good daughters, much less being able to raise good sons. Infinite misconception. It's your boy Roman. What's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. No, I hadn't had a chance to watch. I saw it right before I was getting together. I can't lie, I got up a little late today. And so I hadn't had a chance to check the. I hadn't had a chance to check it out. So all I'm saying is this, you know, it takes external effort. And again, like I say, you know, even if the father figure's not there, I mentioned the athletes, there's always a reference to a coach who, and you see this a lot, man, he taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to do this, you know. You hear it all the time. So mom did a good job raising me to get me to this level. But then when I got to this level, hey, this particular coach or this particular mentor or whoever it is helped me get to, you know, understanding what it took to be a man. And so there's only so much of a job that women can do. And this is not to negate them, but it's just, it's the same that I don't feel like a man can raise a woman. There's going to be certain experiences he's just not going to be familiar with. Now, he can set a standard for what that woman should want, but I don't think that he can truly, you know, put himself in the shoe. Now, he's going to know what other men think, because men are simple. Men are simple, and he'll be able to prepare her for a lot of it, but I don't think that he can truly give her every nuance and every caveat of being a woman, you know. So I think that, oh yeah, I'm about to fire it up. And so that's just my thoughts on that. Yes, and that's exactly true. Lewis, so he says, the successful son feels the responsibility to care for the mother as a husband is supposed to have done. And that's something I talk about often. I talk about so very often because you have some kind of crappy mothers out here. I've talked about the stories about mothers who've given their sons IOUs or invoices after they've made it to the league, which I find to be extremely disgusting. I've talked about, you know, every athlete, what's the first thing they do? Who was it? Darius Geis. First thing he did was buy his mom a car. She's still living in a house in a sketchy neighborhood, you know, at the time, but you go and you buy, I think about a Jaguar or something, some type of vehicle. So you bought something nice, might have been something else. But that car probably costs more than the house you're currently living in. And so you see this time to time, I got to do this for my mom, I got to do this for my mom. And this is not to say that every mom just went out all willy-nilly and had kids. Some got married to men. There's so many different circumstances. Fathers passed away. Maybe pops went to jail. Who knows? Whatever it is. But it's just awkward that there's so many of these stories, and these are the stories that the media pushes because the ones who actually did have strong role models in their life, strong male role models, you don't ever hear those stories. But here's the deal. Let's open up the lines. I want to hear what y'all got to think. Y'all heard me spill my deal, and I know y'all probably have a lot that you guys would like to say, so we're going to open up the lines again and run through my spiel one more time. Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter if you want to follow those social medias. Hey man, if you're enjoying the content and you enjoy the content, the calls from all the den folk, which I mean, y'all are awesome, man. Y'all really are. I enjoy this. Like the video if you're an OG, subscribe if you are new, and then like the button so you got double duty. Again, follow the Den Show Live on all the proper social media. Den Show Live on everything. Den Show Live on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not gonna clap. Den Show Live. And Den Show Live at Gmail. And the new domain is denshowlive.com to come straight to the channel. It used to be the Den Show. I'm gonna do something different with the Den Show. If you want to buy some Den Show merch, you can go to Den Show Shop too if you want to support that way. Hey, if you want to make a one-time donation to the channel, go to streamlabs.com/The Den Show. And if you would like to make a monthly pledge to the channel, consider going to patreon.com/The Den Show. And shout out to all the patrons who are supporting the channel on a monthly basis. I appreciate you. But hitting that like button is the most important thing that you can do. Let YouTube know that you enjoy the content, that there are actually people out here who like the Den and, like what's going on here. So let me get the system set up. Y'all know how I do. I ain't gonna lie, dreads all over the place today. Got fucking the power clap. Yeah, I got that clap is like when when the Super Saiyans start powering up. That's how that clap is. Like people get fucking they just start wilding out. But we talk a little shit here. It's all good. It's all love. Let me put this line up on. Put the line up here. Let me sip my coffee. Let's get ready to take some calls. Whew. And 833-284-3336. Okay, we got some calls coming in already. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the Den? this morning?
Good morning. This is Danny B. Moore. How are you today?
Doing great. How are you, Miss B. Moore?
I am just fine. Enjoying my day off today.
Good deal. Good deal. So, what you said? You making some breakfast? What you having for breakfast over there?
I'm actually starting to prepare my dinner. I'm
Oh,
making
dinner.
some
Oh,
collard greens.
dinner. You starting early? Oh, no, okay. Well, it's a little earlier that way than it is over here. So you making your dinner? So you make collard greens? Then okay, nothing wrong with that. Save me a
Yeah,
plate.
they got to take time to season.
Okay, okay, okay. So what's on your mind this morning, Miss B. Moore?
Oh, listening to the topic and, can, you raise a man? Well, I have three boys. I had, three young black men, that I'm raising, and I'm in the city, and it's hard, to do that. But I don't believe that you can raise a man, but you can't teach him how to be a man. And there's a difference and a distinction in those two things. I can teach them, I can show them how I want to be treated. I can show them, how to take care of a household. I can show them, you know, things you know, about how to maintain a household. But I don't know the first thing about shaving. I barely can tie a tie. I'll make a crooked tie in a minute. But, when me and my husband were together 18 years, and before we got divorced, the one thing that I'm happy of is that we've always been able to maintain a friendship between us. I mean, you know, we talk on a regular basis, not like, what's up with each other because we're both, remarried and everything. But as far as the kids are concerned, there's no issue with us communicating and establishing that. So I can't ever say that I have been a single mom, in these last few years of, my children's life. And my oldest is 19 now, so I've never been a single mom to say that, but I would say from just being divorced, I don't think you can.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And that's kind of how I agree. Like I said, there's you can lay down a blueprint, you can lay down a foundation. And this is what I'm saying that I don't want any woman to think that say, hey, you can't do a good job of preparing them for society. But like you said, there's the little things that, hey, that you just kind of need a male presence to teach them. And I think that's great that you're able to maintain a friendship with your ex-husband. And what would you attribute that to? Because you see so many people these days who, once they split, and I'm sure it probably depends on what happened, but you see so many people that once they split, like it's a beef. It's almost like a war with the Hatfields and the McCoys. Once they're no longer together, what would you attribute to being able to maintain that friendship with your ex-husband? Is it mainly for the kids, or?
Well, you know what I do for a living in real life, and I would say we both do the same thing.
Okay.
Me and him,
Okay.
and we're both in the same field. For one, anything detrimental to him is detrimental to my child, and so hurting him is only hurting him. So me, trying to some BS with him and in my face. I mean, did he annoy me? Did he get on my nerves sometimes? At one point, it was, almost you really making me hate you kind of thing. But we had to bring it down. We got boys to raise. We got boys to raise. When we separated, my youngest was what, 12 and everything. And my three boys, they're like 2 years apart. So they not babies. They know what it is. They can see what's going on. You can talk to them. They all have their own personality. So it ain't nothing you really hide from them anyway.
Yeah.
So just keep it classy, keep it moving on. If you separate it, move on with your life, and keep doing what you got to do. But never forget, if I'm calling you about these kids, then you need to respond to that. And once we got that established out the way, I'm not calling you for a booty call. I'm not calling you for anything else. I'm calling you if my son need a pair of shoes, he got a school event coming up, a conference. I can't make everything. You can't make everything because our schedules. So as long as one of us are being there and we communicate with each other, then, because at some point, if at one point it was like he would call the kids and say, well, I talked to them and I talked to them. You talking to the kids and you're not talking to me, that kind of creates a problem if we can't talk,
Yeah.
because kids aren't going to relay things the way adults relay them in urgency and importance and priority. So you got to establish, once you establish those rules to how you parent and maintain with joint custody, I don't need to take nothing from you because we've been in each other's lives so long. I know you're going to step up and be the man that I married in the past and take care of your responsibilities. But then that's who I married. Doesn't mean because we divorced don't mean that I think he's a bad man and everything. He's a good man and everything. It just wasn't for us.
Okay. Okay. That's
you know,
good.
and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
And
that.
I wanted to say about like the link that I had sent you before earlier, and when I saw this topic, it was about a mother, like I said, like a Brittany Bowen's mom, a mother, Mitchell Blair out of Detroit, who killed her kids, and she had them in the freezer
Wow.
for a couple years in the
Wow.
freezer.
Uh,
And you'll see if anybody goes up and it's on YouTube and everywhere too. If you go and pull up all of these court proceedings, she's volatile in the courtroom. I mean, she's ready to fight. She's ready to go toe to toe. But she basically killed these kids because of what you're saying. She couldn't raise them, and she was so angry at the baby father through everything that she was going through in her own life, and she took it out on those kids. And their whole courtroom battle is her letting him know what a piss poor father he was, and the kids are dead because you didn't step up and do what you were supposed to do as a father. Well, she's partly correct on. She killed him, but just like in Brittany's father, baby, in Malia's father case, if you were stepping up doing what you were supposed to do, then no other man could kill your child like that.
I agree.
So it all goes hand in hand. It's a circle of life.
I agree. I agree. And especially if you're present in that child's life, you see any of these signs before they, manifest into something worse. I agree. And so, I'm definitely going to check that out. That's crazy. Kill the kids, put them in the freezer.
Oh yeah, check that out. 2 years in the freezer.
Yeah, you got to be a special kind of something. That's tough, man. God.
And it's a black lady.
No.
It's a black lady. It's not no white chick. It's a black lady.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm not surprised anymore.
Black lady, black father.
I'm not surprised anymore. I've been hearing so much crazy stuff as of late. I don't even know what to label it. So okay. Well, Miss B Moore, I hope those greens come out muy delicioso. Email me a plate. I'll get a digital taste. But I thank you for calling in and starting off the line this morning and sharing your thoughts on this.
Thank you. I'll be
right.
listening.
All right, you have a good day. All right, very interesting. I think we set the standard there this morning. And that's all I'm saying. It's not saying that a woman can't do a good job. Like some women can do the whole shebang. But the likelihood is slim, and there are nuances that a man needs. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this morning? Hello. Hello, we there? Test. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, my fucking, I got the volume on, everything Gucci. Hello. I don't know what's the. Don't come through. Call back in. All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling? Calling into the den this morning.
Hey, good morning, Honcho. It's Belle. How are you?
Good morning, Miss Bell. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm loving this topic, actually, because I've seen both sides of it. My children had their father up until they didn't, and so I raised my son and my daughter as a single parent, even though I was married until he passed. And the thing is that my son's becoming very successful, and he's doing his own thing. There are a couple of things that I feel were a good background for this. I think that women can be successful in raising them, but I also completely agree with you that we don't complete the picture without having a man to be able to influence our male child. One of the biggest things I did was made sure that there were really good male role models in his life. I also reminded him that, you know, even though things with his dad is not perfect, he had the right to change them. And because of the fact that I raised a mixed child, as society would see him as a black child, reminded him when he went out there that he was a black man, not just a man. My friends were surprised that I did that, but the fact is that I want him to be able to know himself as much as he can and be able to protect himself as much as he can while he's out there. Having really good role models is the best thing. The other thing is how we serve as an example at home, whether we're a single mom or a single dad, you know, not shooting every guy and girl through the home every day of the week or every other day of the week and letting it be a door changing kind of thing. Letting your children know that they're the priority, making them the priority. You know, it doesn't mean that we as adults don't have to be real and have relationships, but they need to know healthy in order to become healthy. You know, we set the example no matter what we do day in and day out. It's the things that we don't think that they see, and they do, that can change things. And we're always their living examples. You know, I was telling this to somebody the other day, you know, my kids are grown, but it doesn't mean I get to have bad behavior. And she's like, well, you're entitled. And I said, no, I'm not. Because no matter what, to every child who's in front of us, we're always an example, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, that's true.
And that doesn't change, you know, whether I'm the mother, the grandmother, or the auntie. We influence the people in our lives, whether it's at church, whether it's at school, whether it's out at a game. We see behaviors of everybody else, and you know, when we're looking to figure out what ours is, and we look at a good example or a bad example, we either dismiss it or we embrace it. But I think that single parents can raise good children, but they also have to be the good example for those children to follow. And it really truly starts at home. And that's pretty much all I got today.
Okay.
Have you got anything for me?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I agree with you. Like, it's what you said. You know, it's important to have those. You know, like you say, you can raise them up to a point. It's good to have those good role models, and I think that's kind of the same thing I was trying to express. And as far as being a good example, ultimately, yeah, because your first teachings start at home, and so
Truly.
and so that's kind of where you need to set that foundation. And so I agree with you. I mean, I have nothing to contradict or question about what you said. I agree.
Yeah, I've seen in the chat about feminists, and you know, I think that is more of a rarity than a norm. You know, we want to push the fact of single parents being the norm, but it's only because of what society's chosen, with the divorce rate being as high as it is, or somebody being a widow or a widower. Those things need to be taken into account as well. It's not just, oh, I had a bad man or I had a bad woman. It's sometimes illness plays a part in it, and sometimes death plays a part in it.
Absolutely.
And that needs to also be in the consideration of that as well.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I don't think that's all I got. I'm trying to think. I don't think I necessarily have anything to add to it.
All right. Well, have a great one, and I'll be watching out.
All right, Ms. Bell, you too. Have a good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to Ms. Bell. And I agree. I mean, it starts at home and laying that foundation. I think that's the connection between both causes. Laying, you know, a good foundation at home is essential. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this morning?
Morning, Honcho. This prepaid. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing this morning, prepaid? What's on your mind?
I'm blessed. I had to reload some minutes on my phone. You know how that shit
Okay,
be.
yeah, you know what I mean. Ready? What's on your mind about the topic today, man?
Man, can a single mother raise a man? She can, but she shouldn't. She can, but she shouldn't have to. And I'm gonna say it like, 'cause we know they can, because they do it all the time. 'Cause we put them in the situation. Fellas, I'm gonna say it. I've been saying it for months. If you feel secure enough to lay down with that woman, have sex with her unprotectedly, you know what I'm saying, create life, you should be there to make sure that life is being raised and reared the correct way. If you feel strong enough to have sex with her and to impregnate her, you should feel strong enough to marry that woman. I don't care how y'all twist and turn. Oh, what if they not in love? Look, man, you better learn to fucking love her, because you made that baby.
Straight up.
You made that baby. And the reason why I feel this strongly about it, and Honcho, you kind of hit on it earlier when you were talking about being a large black man. Speak on the white community, but I can tell you as a black man, black men are viewed differently in society. We're looked at adults when we're just kids. We're not looked the same as a white. You a 17-year-old black man walking around the neighborhood where nobody knows you at, you are looked at as a person who's looking to commit a crime. A white person in the neighborhood is looked at as a person probably looking for one of his friend's house. It don't matter how you turn it, these are the facts. The reason why you see so many black kids who lack fathers say, you know what I'm saying, thank you, coach, such and such, for, you know, help me raise me to become a man, is because we lack discipline. We straight up lack discipline. The crazy part is we yearn for discipline. That's why we cling so hard to sports. Because for the first time in our life, we're being held accountable. And that's the problem. It's the first time a person's ever told you, son, sit up straight. Look me in my eyes when you're talking to me. Most black kids don't hear that saying till they 15, 16-year-old playing on a football team. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And let me explain to y'all what we talk about when we say it starts at home. I got twins, boy and a girl, okay? I bought my son a pair of Jordans, I bought my daughter a pair of Jordans, okay? They want a nice pair of sneakers. I explained to them, you got to take care of your shoes. So, Honcho, you know, I got my son out there with a toothbrush, got the hot water. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When my son come home with his shoes on, he take his shoes off and he clean them. You know what the next thing he does? Goes and cleans his sister's shoes. At first, he was pissed. She warned why she don't clean her own shoes. I said, son, as a man, you're going to learn. You're going to take care of your wife one day, and you're going to clean her shoes. You're going to make sure that she's taken care of. When we go get in the car, my son holds the door for my daughter. Every time. He ain't allowed to get in the car to assist in the car. We're walking on the sidewalk. My son walks on the outside. My daughter walks on the inside of the sidewalk. That stuff is being taught by a man, because I understand growing up, these are things you're going to have to do anyway. Every Saturday, my son gets a haircut. Every Saturday. Because this is how a man has kept himself up. Now, a woman can learn these things. It depends on how these things are valued. You can't make a woman value a man being a man unless you have a man in that household. My wife don't understand why I get so angry when my son don't have his watch on. Honcho, you know why a man supposed to always have on the watch. You know what I'm saying? I said, son, you're right-handed. Your watch go on your left hand. He don't understand that. If the trash is overflowing and my son went to his friend's house to play basketball or play the game, whatever the situation is, and my daughter take that trash out, busting that ass when they get home. Busting that ass. He said, but when she not here, I do dishes for her. I said, but guess what? A woman don't pick up the slack for no man. Because when your wife ain't going to be carrying the slack for you, you're going to be a man so do yours and take care of your responsibilities. My son tell me some shit happened at school. He can't look down there and be slunched up when he's talking to me. You better stick your chest out and talk to me, because guess what? If he lying to me, I bet, because if he keep looking away from me, I know he lying to me. And the same shit happened in my job. Somebody coming and telling me a lie, I'm looking right in your eyes like, man, you intimidating. Nah, motherfucker, I can see through your bullshit. Because my daddy taught me that shit. You know what I'm saying? My son not allowed to walk around here and be sagging and shit. I don't want to see your underwear. Nobody else does. Pull your fucking pants up. I showed my son where his hips are. This where your hip is, son. Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. Daddy, them pants ain't made to have a belt on. If it got belt loops, you wearing a fucking belt. You better prepare yourself. Because here's the thing. And fellas, this is for y'all. And I'm not even focused on single mothers, because I'm on y'all ass. If you don't raise your kids, the justice system will. I promise you that. If you don't teach your black kids, your black son discipline, I promise you justice system will. They started creating privately owned prisons just for us. and they will pack them motherfuckers out with our kids, guaranteed if you don't raise them. Don't care if you don't agree or not. These are facts. And a lot of these things, it's the small things at home that lay down a foundation moving forward. You think I'm going to have a problem with my son looking out for his wife and making sure that she comes first in the house? He been with a woman his whole life. His sister's the same age as him. He been holding the door for her his whole life. He been taught to look out for her well-being first, because as a man, you're going to look out for the well-being of your wife and your kids first. Period. No other way around it. So, in my personal opinion, I can't tell a woman how to be a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's very small things that I can do for my daughter. I can comb her hair. It ain't the best, hairstyle. I can comb it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the best. You know what I'm saying? You know, I can show her, like, you know, if my wife is gone and she having a problem in the shower or something like that, I don't even really feel like, you know, I tell my wife, you need to go in there and talk to her about, like, hygiene and stuff, because I don't really know how to, you know, I don't really know how to do all that type of stuff. For stuff like that, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you ain't never had kids before, you learn together. I don't know nothing about a woman's body part when it comes to cleaning and hygiene. But, man, get your ass in there and help that girl out. I don't know nothing about none of that. When women start going through their, you know, bodily changes, they'll get what I'm saying, puberty and all that stuff, menstrual cycles, man, I don't know nothing about none of that shit. You know, I don't know how to have that talk with my daughter. You know, I do know how to go buy the tampons. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm 32 years old. I don't really know how a tampon works. I don't know where it's inserted, or I know it's a piece of cotton in there because I opened up one playing with it, but I don't know how that shit works. Look, it hurt. I'm just being real with y'all. So if you looking at a person like me who has a wife who's there every day with my kids, and I don't know, how y'all expecting these single mothers to teach a man when he wake up in the morning and his penis is on hard and he don't know what's going on with his body? Every morning he wake up, he got a hard on. He ain't thinking about nothing freaky. He's just a physical part of a man growing up. When you get around 12 years old, you get an erection. Yeah. You go take a piss in the morning and it goes down before you go to school. But kids don't know these type of things, man. It's a scary world out here. You know? You 15, 16 years old, you outside joking around with your friends and shit. People see y'all playing around, they thinking y'all out here fighting. Yeah. Your 15-year-old son don't understand why cops are being called, why people think they fighting. It's because as young black men, we're not viewed as young black men. We're looking at as men, future criminals. This is why you got to have it here. You know what I'm saying? And if I see one, oh my goodness. I watch all them prom videos, Honcho. I like the kids going all out for prom. Yeah. If I see one more kid wearing suspenders in the belt, I'm going to kill my damn self. In the belt. It's always the mamas out there hugging and kissing on the little boy going to the prom. They have no idea. Ladies, fellas, suspenders and the belt are the same damn thing. Yes. If you don't need a belt. That's something else my daddy taught me. You don't have to wear both of them, son. It's one or the other. That's it for me, Honcho. I just want to spill that in there, man, and hopefully I'm just giving it from my standpoint. I can't give it to you, single mother, because I ain't never been one. So, and my wife ain't gonna never be a single mother. Shit, we dying together. I don't give a.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
If she wanted to boy, nigga, build me a room on the other side of the house. Shit, you can have another boyfriend, but I ain't going nowhere. We stuck together. Shit. It is what it is.
Already. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate the fire this morning, man.
Man, fuck with me. Be blessed.
Already. Shout out to Prepaid, man. Hey, and that's legit right there. I mean, shit. Ain't nothing else you can add to that. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the den this morning?
Man, you already know who it is.
I don't know who this is.
Oh, man, nigga, it's your boy, Robin.
Okay, I thought this was one of them Londoners. Nah, what's the motherfucking deal? What's the motherfucking deal, Roman, man? What's on your mind this morning, man? How you feeling about today's topic?
Man, well, this is how I feel about it. Hunter, you be damn near about to say this evening. I'll be hearing you.
Yeah, that's why I slow down. How you doing this morning? Yeah, I gotta catch myself.
Yeah. Okay, about this topic, man. Prepaid just knocked it out the ballpark, man. Home run like they always do, man. I fuck the Prepaid hella hard, man. I respect him. Don't even know Prepaid, but I respect him so much. And, because what he says is true. And the thing is, this is the thing with me. Now I'm for people who don't know who I am, which I think everybody knows what the fuck I am, but for people who don't know who I am, I'm about to be 17, right? I have no children. I have nothing. Okay, I don't have no children. So, yeah, I don't. I know a woman, but I do have a mom, dad, brother. I can say this, so I can tell my story. The thing is, I do agree. A mother can raise a boy. That's easy. Make sure he's eating, going to school, putting his clothes on. All that is but she doesn't know how to make sure he's a man. That's what man comes in handy. The thing is, I have learned a lot of with my situation. My dad's a good person, but my dad's alcoholic, so he's had problems. So in and out, all over the place. I'm willing to admit that I love him, but he has issues. But I'm happy that I've had good men around me to teach, especially my brother, the one I told you is in the Air Force.
Yeah.
My brother's taught me damn near everything. He's taught me, Roman, this is how you clean your shoes. Roman, this is how you keep your room up together. My mama did that too, because my mom's somewhat of a clean freak. But my brother taught me that too. My brother taught me how to shave. He taught me, okay, Roman, this is how you get your haircut. Okay, Roman, da 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 da. I remember when I was 13, 14, and shit, I didn't know what the hell erection was. I was scared like a motherfucker. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was 10 or something like that. I was around that age, puberty age. Then my brother explained me that. Then he explained me what it does, what it is. So the thing is, you need male figures around you. Even if you don't have a father, it's still good to have male figures around you. I'm saying for my situation. Because the thing is, a woman can only do so much. Because she's not a man. She doesn't have a dick. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, man. She doesn't, a man doesn't, most women don't have to, fix cars and make sure to get up and knit it. And most women ain't doing that. You got a couple women that can, but not a lot. Learn how to fix an engine. Learn all that from my uncles. And even my father, what I said his issue, I've learned that. The thing is, it takes a man it takes a man to teach a boy. The thing is, especially the core functions, even how to run your household. The thing is, because it's your job to put food on the table. It's your job. I feel like it's not. I disagree with it's a woman's job to be the breadwinner of the family. I'm not no sexist, but it's a man's job. But your ass got 2 legs, 2 arms, and 2 eyes. Motherfucker, you better get up and get a job. I don't care what it is. You work at McDonald's, I respect you just because you have a job. You get what I mean, Honcho? The thing is, it is your job to help if you in an apartment, and you in a house, or you getting a house, get an apartment. It is your job to do that and to become that. So that's how I am with me. That is a man's job to do everything. Where everything prepaid says hit off the park, because, like I said, I ain't got no children, but I do have a little cousin. And I teach him, he's 4, about to be 5. His birthday, I think, 2 months, something like that. And I teach him, okay, Jay, now this is how you open the door. Hey, this is how you do this. No, this is how you do this. And then while I've taught him, I've seen him do it before. When the door is too hard, I open it for him because I know he can't open the door yet. But then when the door is easy enough for him to open on his height, he'll open it up for his grandma, which is his great grandma, which is my grandma, then his aunt, with his grandma, which is my aunt. He'll do that, and I taught him, man, he'll do that. The thing is, I'm already trying to teach him, because his daddy's not even really in his life. So I'm trying to be the big cousin to help him. And because everybody else around him is female. My grandma, my aunt, which is his grandma, his mom, which is my cousin. They're all females. They doing a damn good job, but the thing is, it takes somebody that knows what he's going through and knows sometimes what he's talking about to help him. Sometimes he can't talk to him about sports. I'm there to talk to him about sports. The thing is, that is a man's job, and a man's job is to take care of his family and to do the job, to especially raise his son, because prepaid hit on the wall. I'm about to get off this line. Prepaid hitting off the wall, man. black men, especially black children, is not looked at. A black boy is not looked at as a black boy. They're looked at as sons. You know, even me, I'm pretty tall. I'm about 6'2". The thing is, I can't go walk in a full white neighborhood because I'm looked at suspicious. Now, a white kid can't do that, so you have to teach them what they have to do to prepare themselves for situations like this. And when you can do that, man, you got it, man. But that's my call, man.
Okay. Okay, Roman, man, I appreciate that. I agree with you, man. Thank you for calling in this morning.
Yeah, man, anytime, bro, anytime. Hey, Honcho, before I go, I got another shirt. I got another shirt you can make.
What's that?
We all gonna die.
I might have to drop that one, babe. Man, that's some OG shit right there.
All right, man, that's my call, man.
All right, Roman, man, appreciate it, babe.
Hey, man, anytime.
I don't know, you make that show, they might think you some type of terrorist if I get to go to rock and dance. They gonna be like, uh-oh, they can call laws on you. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who do we have calling in to the den this morning?
What's up, Honcho? It's Miss Meat, 37.
Miss Meat, how you doing this morning? It's always good to hear from you. What's on your mind?
Well, a woman absolutely cannot teach a man how to be a man. Now, you know, I know a lot of women are put in that situation where you can't help it. But also, a lot of women put themselves in that situation, being out stink with the dad because she can't be with him no more. You know, like my sister, her son, her and her husband got divorced, but she wants to treat him so bad and you know, be so hateful toward him that she won't even let the boy go over there hardly. He's so soft. You know, my nephew's so soft. It gets on my nerves. Like, I'm not, you know, I have a son. I raised my son until he was 12. Once I walked in that bathroom when I didn't know he was in the bathroom and his dick was hard, I called his daddy. It's time for him to come. But I don't know what to do now. I mean, I'm a girl. I don't know. So, you know, and we lived in two different states, 1,000 miles away, but I felt like, why would I have another man raise my son when his dad is a good man? So I sent him to live with him when he was 12. And, you know, he taught him how to be a man for the rest of the way. I gave him the nurturing from a baby up until he was 12. But when that body part started working, I didn't know what to tell him. I don't know if you put that away. I mean, what do I tell him? I don't know. Sure. You know what I mean? So, you know, a lot of this stuff falls on the women, too. They being spiteful. They don't want, just because they can't be with the man, or if the man got another woman, you know, you don't want to, I don't want this bitch around my child, instead of thinking of your kid and sending them to his daddy. So, you know, Free Pay said, you know, it's a lot on the men. I'm not going to put it all on the men all the time, because we have some evil women out here that will not let their kids go to their dad. And that's not right. So that part, too, we need to straighten up, because people cannot act like it don't happen, you know. And I've always been, you know, the type, men fall on hard times, too. Well, if you don't have no money, come get your son. Come get your kids, you know. Spend time. Time, you cannot pay for time.
Correct.
That's not, you know, something you could pay for. You can't pay for time, teaching, lessons. Hey, boy, this is what you're supposed to do. You can't teach. I'm a girl. Women absolutely do not think like men. Men absolutely do not think like women. And I know some single fathers raising women, but they're friends, and, you know, they call, hey, this is what's happening with this girl. I don't know what to do. But just like you said, I go back to role models, teachers, counselors, or whoever else. That's going to, they friends, the streets, that's going to teach them how to be a man. So I say, if them fathers are around somewhere, stop being stupid and spiteful and let them kids go with their dad. Now, it's different if they got a, you know, if the woman around them abusing them, then y'all need to sit down and have a talk. But most of the time, that don't happen. You know, I don't know everyone in the world, but I just know women, and I've seen women, and it's just, you know, how spiteful they are, and they want trying to keep them kids away from the daddy. He ain't got no money. He ain't going over there till he bring me a check and all that. That's stupid. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. You doing that at the expense of your child. That's foolishness.
It is. It's always foolishness. And like I said, my nephew, he come over here. This boy is 10 years old. I tell him something to do. Boy, go clean that kitchen. You start crying. You damn near taller than me. Your ass over here crying.
Yeah.
and he has a dad. I mean, I don't know my sister. I don't know, how to even get through it. But she's so mad at him, and he cheated, and whoop de woo, and and he's so mad, and she don't want to, that's gonna bite her ass. And I told her that. But luckily, he has my husband when he come around. But he don't listen. Like that's only maybe a weekend out of a month. When his daddy is right here in the same state, not even 10 miles away. So it's not just on the men; it's on the women too. And and I know some women has done great jobs of raising their boys, but they didn't teach them how to be a man. I guarantee you, they learned somewhere else, whether if it was friend, whether they spent the night over their friend house, whether if it was counselor, teacher, somebody else taught them about manhood. And if they didn't, and sad to say, a lot of them do end up in the justice system, and that's who teach them how to teach them discipline. And that's not really teaching them discipline. That's forcing discipline on them.
I agree. Man, that's wild.
But that's how, what you gonna say?
No, I'm saying it's just wild. I'm thinking about being, just 10 miles away. You right around the corner, and the child needs to spend more time with his father.
Yeah, and he's 10 now.
Yeah.
So he just so soft. Like, it's because she has a girl, and, my sister's a girl, so it's like she's raising him like a girl. And we get into that about that constantly. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, he's less than 10 miles away. I could damn near, if something happened, I could damn near walk to his house probably. That's how close he is. But if he got another woman, actually another wife, and she knew the girl, and, that's who he cheated with, so she just being stupid.
Yeah.
But that's all I really have to say. It's just not on men. It's on the women, too, sometimes. And sometimes the women don't have a choice, and a lot of them do a damn good job, and I appreciate the mothers that do, that keep their sons out the system. We could teach them respect. We could teach them how to cook, clean, and keep themselves up, but we can't teach them that other stuff. We just cannot. We don't think like men. We don't know how. We can't think like a man. I don't even, and I'm not bashing the gay women or anything like that. You got someone around here who really, really think they boys or men. You can't. That's still not going to teach them either, because you're still a female. Females. But that's it. I'm going to listen to the rest of the show, hear everybody else's opinion.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Miss Meek. Thank you for another great call.
All right. Bye-bye.
Man, that's true. I mean, you can think something, but you got to know the nuances. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this morning?
This is Danny B. Moore again.
All right, Miss Danny, what's on your mind?
Okay, I'm listening to the last two callers and listening to some of their stuff. I think some of the stuff that we're talking about, I think we're crossing into different topics. Just because you're divorced, or you and your child's father aren't together, doesn't make you a single parent. Okay, and I don't think some people understand it. You're a single parent if you're doing a majority of the work and the other person is absent and you're doing all the heavy lifting. But if the other parent is present in their life every day and doing every aspect of everything, whether you're in the same household or not, it's a difference when you wake up together, go to bed together, and all those different kind of things. But how they interact and whether you're raising a man by yourself, that doesn't make you a single parent. That was one thing I wanted to say.
Okay.
And then I wanted to go on as far as how a black man is viewed, or a black child is viewed, being raised and coming up in a white neighborhood, whatever you want to call it. It's all in how, in all my life growing up in the city, everybody talks about their interaction with police and this different things. I've never had that interaction. I've never had those car stops. I've never had those pull over, because my behavior is such. Not to say that those things don't happen to some people, but that's not everybody's story. And just because you're black doesn't mean that police are automatically going to be doing stuff to you. I don't think that, my boys have never had that issue being in the city. They've never had the issue. For one, they're not walking around with their pants hanging down to their butt. To me, I think we should have these dart guns that you could just shoot them in the ass with every time you put one up when his pants hanging down. That's just crazy to me. They so tight and all this kind of stuff. It's just crazy. But as far as raising a black man and everything, that's different how a black man interacts in the community than the issue of a single parent. Because kids are going to only do in the street what you allow them to do and what you have taught them to do. And if they don't have any direction or discipline at home, then they're going to be out in the street being disrespectful. I wish I would ever catch my kid being disrespectful to anybody. But that's how I'm raising him. But that's a whole nother issue on whether I'm a single parent or not. Because you got kids in two households who, if both the parents smoking weed and both of them dropping it like it's hot, hanging at the club, doing all that kind of stuff, they never get home, cook meal. I'm here cooking greens. I'm not cooking greens from a can. I'm cooking fresh greens, from the start and everything, and that's how I do. But you see kids where I'm at, all they doing is getting, they spend more time at the corner store getting a chicken box. They spend more time getting a sandwich, a breakfast sandwich or whatever from their local corner store than they do being raised at home. Now, I think, like I say, those issues, you can have a man prevalent in the household, but if you're not shit for a woman, then it don't matter what kind of man you got. If your mentality is such as a woman of little hope or substance in your life, then it's no man gonna save you. And I think I've said that before. It's in who you are. And that's what I wanted to say.
Okay. And I can agree with that. Yeah, that dark gun thing might be something we need to look into. That might
Yeah, look, oh my God, that hurts me so bad. And all of my boys must wear a belt. But sometimes my son catches, he don't have a belt. Oh, you need to go back in the house and put a belt on. Don't even think about it. You're not going to walk around the street or nowhere else without a belt on. Whether your pants hanging down or not, you are going to wear a belt. And that's a rule established by me and his father, and it's not to be broken under any circumstance. So, but that's all I got to say this time.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. And if you have any other input that you'd like to share, man, feel free to call back in.
Okay.
Hey, look. I don't know what would they hit you with? They probably hit you with a charge, though, if you just walked around with a dart gun. Maybe, what's that shit they used back in Africa, the little blow gun? Maybe you do one of them, then maybe you can get away with some shit. You just hit them with the little blow dart. But, and like I said, I can agree with said that there are different experiences. And I tell y'all all the time, I've had my little run-ins when I was younger, when I was, on some more foolish shit. But as my way of operation changed, my experiences changed. As my views changed, my experiences changed. And even when I did have my run-ins, in certain situations, I'm not gonna lie, some of them, they were some dickheads. But, at the end of the game, when you're talking about laws and everything else, now certain situations, they are fucked up. And I'll call a fucked up situation fucked up. But there's a lot of situations that can be avoided simply by how you talk to someone. And I know this for a fact. There's been some real, I won't even say I was necessarily in the wrong or doing anything, but just the circumstance of what it was, and just, by having that conversation, okay, the approach was different, as opposed to times when I would have, attitude, I'd be popping off, and I was shit. I wanted all the smoke, but you ain't getting no smoke, you just got the cuffs, and so it's about approach is a big factor. It's a very important factor. But again, when you're dealing with different individuals, you're going to have different outcomes. and different situations. So I can't speak on myself or everybody else, but I do know that how my operation changed, that overall my experience changed. That's just my thought. Well, that's what's up, Slim. Though eventually, though, that you made that commitment and that you did the right thing. But and here's to say, and when we're having this conversation, it like it's been said, it goes both ways. Even like Prepaid said, there's certain things a man don't understand. Look, man, let me tell you some shit I used to hate, man, when I was young. My mom would send me to the store, and if I'd have to go buy some type of feminine hygiene products, because again, I told you I had a sister. She was a little older than me, and she passed away at 24. But I'd have to go do those things. Like I remember initially I'd be embarrassed like a motherfucker. Like, man, fuck that, I don't want to go do this shit. But then it got to the point where I wasn't tripping, man. Like, shit, motherfuckers know I'm not using them. Shit, look, hey, you want to see? Nah. But, it's just certain things that, it end up being, for my last old lady, I haven't had to do that for the one I'm currently with, but, it got to the point where I ain't mind, okay, well, what you need, whatever, learn the fucking kind of shit it is, you know what I'm saying? If that's somebody you love and care about, man, you ain't even tripping on little shit like that. But, again, like I say, Prepaid said some great things. Every caller said some great things. But it's just things that you do for your old lady as a man, and those are important too. Because it just, you have to see that example. And again, it's a lot of little nuances when it comes to being raised a certain way. And it's not saying that women can't do it. If they're familiar and they're aware of it, then maybe they can implement those things. But I don't think all women are familiar with every, with all the things that need to be touched on when dealing with and raising a man. And I think that's where the disconnect happens on certain levels. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this morning?
Hey, Dan.
Hello.
This is Kanisha S. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Doing good, Miss Kanisha. How you doing this morning?
I'm all right. So I got to make this quick because I'm at work, but I really just wanted to call and say something. Okay, so let me just say this first. I am not raising a son. I have one daughter. That's it. But I kind of see it from both sides. So my mama, I have 5 brothers. I'm the only girl.
Okay.
My dad, was on drugs or whatever, blah, blah, blah. My mama left him. So, I got these brothers. My mama, she went to work. She raised my brothers. I have only one brother. He have one son. None of my brothers been to jail. Nobody, is on drugs. Nobody, it was just a real upbringing. But then I have my sister-in-law. She's a single mother. You see what I'm saying? She have 2 sons, just like I put in the comment. My 12-year-old nephew, one morning, because my sister, we used to stay together for a little while. One morning, my nephew woke up, he was hard as a rock, and it was hurting. Yeah. And he come running in there, and he like, Mama, my thing is hard, and it hurt. I don't know what to do. She damn near passed the fuck out. Like, what the fuck do you say? You see what I'm saying? Like what you need a cigarette, baby? Here. What do you say in one of them types of situations? And then you also have to look at it from this standpoint. And I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off. I don't care. Women or mothers from the 70s and from the 80s are not the same type of parents as women or mothers from these 99s and 2000s. You see what I'm saying? So you got these women that's raising these men, raising these boys, they watching these dudes running in and out their mama house, can't get $1 for school the next morning. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yes, a woman can raise a man, but can it be effectively done? No. No. You don't have your daddy in your son's life because you mad at over who you chose to give a baby to. You don't have your son's father in his life because you upset that you baby mama number 3 or 5. You see what I'm saying? So now you stuck with this baby, with this son, i.e. my nephews, and they're older. I have one nephew 14. I have one nephew 12. My sister did what she could. She did what she could. But now they're teenagers. She don't know what to do. She don't know how to handle emotions. She don't know how to handle hormones. Like my 12-year-old nephew, he done with school. So she's feeling like, well, I got 3 other kids. You see what I'm saying? I can't. You need to give him a mentor. You need to, but then be the first one to post on Facebook on Father's Day. You know, I'm mama and I'm daddy. That's dumb as fuck. No, you're not. You mama. You're not mama and daddy. You mama. You do it on Mother's Day. You get a man in them daddy in the kids' life so they can do or show them boys what it is they need. Like a mama, a woman, she cannot like. She cannot give a man, a boy, what he needs, transitioning. Everybody talks about maturity. No woman know what to do with that. No woman know how to handle what's going on. Just like dude said about his daughter in the shower. He's sending his wife in there because he don't know about a damn tampon. No woman don't know if, you know, a 12-year-old who meet for the first time. She can't go explain to her son the feelings of, you know, that's coming out of him or what to do. Like, they cannot. They cannot. They cannot. Like, and that's just where I stand with that. Like, I do not feel like appropriately a woman can raise a man. And I may be wrong. You know, people may disagree with me, but I don't. I just needed to call and say that because I just don't feel like they can. And correct me if I'm wrong.
And I agree. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it's just certain things. Now, I'm not saying that they can't do a good job on the surface level things, you know, teaching them how to be clean, teaching them how to, you know, dress appropriately, things like that. But when those changes start happening, when those things start, you know, you need somebody who's familiar with that experience to be able to to help them guide them through that.
Right. Okay, well, I wanted to call and say that. This is my first call, and I hate that it was such a, you know, a touchy topic. But I needed to get that off my soul. Like, I just don't feel like they can.
Well, I'm glad that you did call, and I'm glad you shared that, you know, provided that experience for the people.
All right, now let me get my ass back up in here to work.
All right, Miss Keisha, appreciate you
Y'all
calling.
have a good day.
All right, you too. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I got one thing to say, and I can't lie to y'all. When she talked about the 80s mamas and the 90s mamas, I mean the 70s and 80s mamas, they said these 90s and 2000s mamas. Am I the only person who thought about Cash Money taking over for the 99 in the 2000? What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in this morning, man?
It's Wink, bro.
Wink, what's on your mind, man? What you want to share with the people today, man?
Shit, I was on lunch break, bro, and I just wanted to go ahead and get on in real quick before I head back to work, bro.
Already?
Like, last caller, she was on point. It's like, what women can do is teach men a woman's insight, how they feel. You can teach a man how to feel and how to nurture your man to think on a different level that he wouldn't otherwise if he weren't in his life. That's what you're there for the most part. Like, at the end of the day, that's what I know I needed my mom for. Just like every man needs his mom for those reasons. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you got to have yin and yang and the flip side to yourself and always be able to show people that you can be any way you need to be just to go on in this life. And a man has to be able to show you your strengths of man. First off, he has to be an example first before you can even get a picture of what a man is. You don't have that, you're going to be walking around a long time. I understand everybody ain't got a pops, but shit, a lot of motherfuckers is depending on grandfathers, uncles, you know, some semblance of what they see the right man for them is to be. And yeah, just like that's a minor, simple example that a man wouldn't think about. You just wake up with all a dick. It's just like, okay, you got to piss. You already know that. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know how that motherfucker don't bend and shit like that. And keep spraying all over they bro. Like, they don't. Was like they got their shit. We got our shit too. It ain't as probably overblown as that because it's just like we don't talk about it the way that they do. But it's just like, bro. I mean, a man couldn't teach he can show her how to be a lady. A woman can show a man how to be a gentleman. Yes, she can do that. And a man can do vice versa, but he ain't telling her how she should be a woman. He gon' and his sole essential is to give his daughter the male insight of things. Damn, how do men tick? That's just what both roles is doing when it comes to developing children, bro. As my kids are small, I understand that really at a young age, but it was never even explained to me. And I had a great father, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like I can look at things that he didn't do that I feel that are very, very important, especially with what we got dealing with. And it's just like, man, you gotta have both sides to really making sure that these kids that they want. Because you see these weirdos we got walking around in 2020.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers are some weirdos today, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people in this comment section might have weirdo ass children that they just doing everything they can to make sure that they don't go down the wrong road. Like, you like, that's some weird ass shit, you know. But hey, kids is weird nowadays. Look at the food they eat. Like, they developing too motherfucking early. That means they getting feelings and emotions they would never have had if they didn't go on the right way, you know what I'm saying? But I'm finna get ready to head on back to work, man. I just want to go ahead and drop that. Shout out to Jay Dizzle, everybody in the chat who shouted me out. Just here, you know, everybody. And shit, y'all go ahead and y'all have a good day and make sure y'all raise these kids right, because they the future of everything we got coming up and do. We really need motherfuckers like Trump in the White House once again for people who are into their politics.
Already, Wink, man. Appreciate your call, man.
Already, bro.
That's a bit. Shout out to Wink holding it down, man. Look, y'all active day. I think y'all rocking with this topic, huh? What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this morning?
What's the motherfucking deal, Honcho? You already know who it is, baby.
Man, Edwin, what's the motherfucking deal? What's on your mind, man? How you feeling about today's topic, Edwin?
Oh, man. First and foremost, man, congratulations, nigga. I see what you're doing, dog. You're doing big things, dog.
Man, just trying to put in a little more work, hoping to get some more results up out of it, but I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't here for the beginning, but I was here. I was here right before the shit jumped, you know what I'm saying? Right before the shit popped off.
Yeah.
But nah, man, just congratulations, Honcho. I see what you're doing, man. You really been on your grind, man. You putting a lot of work in, and I know that shit ain't easy, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So, yeah, appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? You coming through with the content. And see, I can't tune in like I used to, man, because, shit, I've been on my grind just like you, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
So I can't tune in like I used to, but, you know, I'm glad you're doing the morning shit, too.
Yeah.
You know, 10 a.m., because if I can't catch the night joint, I can always catch the morning joint. So, you know what I'm saying? That's I just want to get that out the way. Shout out to everybody in the chat and to all the callers. Everybody calling in was actually, you know what I'm saying, dropping some jewels. But as far as today's topic, can a woman raise a man? I'm going to pretty much agree and piggyback on what I've heard a lot of the callers already say. And yes, it can be done. But is it effective? Are you maximizing that child's potential? Hell no. No. Hell no. I've seen it done. You know, I got a lot of my friends, you know, they didn't have the fathers growing up. You know, some of the fathers were in and out of their lives, and yeah. So I just look at some of them, man. Some of them are still lost. Some of them are still, you know, like for instance, one of my boys, man. He can't. I don't know. He don't have the drive to go out there and get it himself to be his own man. He always up under a woman. He always got a lady take care of him, and you know, and it just kind of. When you think about his psychological mind state, it's probably the fact that his daddy wasn't there. His daddy wasn't there to show him how to be a man, to go get it, to get up off his ass, and you know what I'm saying, and eat.
Yeah.
You know, so and that's something you can't. You just ain't born with that. You know what I mean? You just ain't born with that. I mean, yeah, some of us are born with a certain type of drive or ambition that others don't, but you got to develop that. You got to develop that as a man. You have to teach your son, man, that you got to be the man of the house, bro. You know, a woman can't teach no son that. She can't. She can teach him how to comb his hair right, teach him how to brush his teeth right, teach him how to have manners, teach him how to talk to a woman, but she can't teach him how to be a man. She can't teach him. She can't get into his psyche like a man can with his son. Because when a man speaks versus when a woman speaks, man. I tell you, my mom, for example, my mom will correct me. She'll say something 5 times, and I still ain't correct the problem, right? My dad will say it 1 time, and if I ain't correct the problem, nigga, I know what was coming next. You know, it's just that, just having that in the household, having the sweet, soft side of mama, and then having that side of father. You know, when it's time to take care of business, you know what I'm saying? So, as a man, it's just difficult. It's difficult to just, I don't know. It's just it's just damn near impossible to raise a wholesome nigga if you're a woman. I'm sorry. It just is damn near impossible. I've seen it been done. Cause I got some partners, you know what I'm saying. But it's just damn near impossible, man. It really is. And these relationships that go south with these niggas that be fucking these women and you know nothing come out of it but a baby. Dog, take care of your child, bro. Co-parent, bro. So what? You hate the bitch, but co-parent, nigga, like co-parent, bro. You know, I see a lot of dudes. They so quick to run. Oh man, this bitch crazy. Oh man, this bitch. Man, so nigga, that's your child, bro. I don't give a damn how crazy it is, bro. Put up with that crazy bitch. You have to, nigga. That's your child, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's situation is different. I know there's some women that's petty as hell, but a lot of these niggas, man, they just tuck their tail in and run, man.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that, bro. This your child, bro. You got to be there, bro. You got to be there, bro. Even if you're not in the same household, for him to just have you in his life, to be able to speak to you, to be able to come to you whenever he want to come to you, that shit is big time, bro. That's big time. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Yeah, you gotta put your pride aside and do what's best for that kid, man. If you done brought that life into this world and the child never asked, you know, didn't send you some message in a dream or something say they wanted to come in, you did that. You know, you have to own up to that regardless of the circumstance. And I know it can be tough, and I know, you know, a caller mentioned that something a lot of these women will make it hard for them, and you know, we can talk about legal systems and all that, but yeah, as a man, if you brought that life into this world, you got to do whatever it takes to overcome whatever obstacles are stopping you, and let that child know that they are loved. At least, you know, even if the woman is making it hard for you, you have to let that child see that you are trying to do everything to be in their life, to let them know that they are loved, that they do have a father that cares about them.
Exactly, because when they have, because one thing that I didn't realize how much when I became a parent, how much I would be like, you know, my dad, how much, you know, how like I am, how a lot of things he told me, a lot of things he said to me, I find myself saying those things now, especially when I was a kid, it didn't make sense to me, and I found it kind of stupid. But when I got older, man, I say the same thing to my kids. You know what I mean? And I just think back, I'm like, damn, man, I'm glad I had him around to do that. You know, I didn't have my biological father. You know, this is my adopted father. And man, you know, he came into my life at the age of 9, and man, he turned my life completely around. From having, because I had a stepfather, but I don't know if you remember the story with him, but he wasn't much of a fucking father.
Yeah, yeah, I remember you sharing that with us.
But yeah, my adopted dad, man, that right there changed my whole life right there. Him coming into my life changed my whole life, changed my whole psyche, and just flipped my state of mind. Like, and that shit, without it, I can't even imagine what kind of man I would be. I couldn't, honestly. I probably would be a fucking weirdo.
Don't be a weirdo. That's the lesson from today's show. Don't be a weirdo. Don't raise a weirdo.
Yeah. Look, another thing too, man. Like that's what's wrong with our men nowadays. Why there's so many punks running around, man? So many faggots. Because you got these single women, single mothers raising these boys, and they around all that estrogen. What you think he gonna do? He gonna soak that shit up. He gonna be around all the estrogen, all these females always talking about men. It's gonna spark something in his mind. You know, I'm telling you, that has something to do with what's going on with, our generation of men nowadays. You know, the men, the fathers are not in the household, and as a result, they're defeminizing. You know, they're just defeminized. Demasculated. They just is, you know, you around all them women, man, it's bound to happen. So that's another thing I've noticed, man. I don't know if that's just my observation, but that's just what I'm seeing, man. You know, these men need to step up, bro, because they soft, man. These generation of men are soft, dog.
No, I agree. I agree that plays a very significant role. You know, especially when you do have the son and you have a mom who is, you know, constantly angry or bashing men, you know, they ain't shit, this and that, this they ain't shit, you know, they a bunch of bull, whatever you want to call it. And then you have the son who wants his mother's love, seeing that, well, everything masculine, everything manly is bad in her eyes. I think that starts to sway certain behaviors. You know what I mean? I think that has an impact on how he responds to his environment. You know, he becomes interested in things that she's interested in, as opposed to things that most men, boys, or whatever are interested in. So I think that does have a significant impact on what's going on in today's society and the increase in the more effeminate men these days.
Yep, because you know, back in the day, it was old, you know, the old school state of mind. When you had a baby, both the parents were just like, all right, fuck it, you know, there's my life, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
My life is over. Now I gotta raise this kid. You know, you just stop. Back in the days, you just stop what you were doing and raise your child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nowadays, motherfuckers having these babies, and I don't know where the I don't know where the everybody's state of mind just flipped, where it was just like okay to just start dropping babies and moving around.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm telling you, when that term baby mama, baby daddy became popular, when it became acceptable, I think that's when people started looking at it. I really feel like that changed the whole dynamic of everything, because now it's a title to it. It's almost like it's something official when it's really not, and people are acceptable of that. You know.
Exactly. And if you're a nigga and you don't got a baby mama, then that's not the norm. Every nigga has a baby mama. Sounds like like so. Yeah, bro. That shit is a trip. But yeah, that's all I had, man. That's just my little, my little observation I made about the whole situation. Yeah, the fathers, man. The fathers, they just need to. They don't necessarily need to be in the household, but they just need to be in the life.
Yeah.
I understand these relationships not gonna work out. Not all of them are. So I understand that. But be in your son's life, man. It's integral, man. Be in your son's life. And because you think about it, vice versa. A man can't raise no woman. Just think about that. Can't raise no woman. Like hell no. He'll probably do a good job. And what's his name just said what's the nigga name? Like Wink just said, wasn't Wink? Yeah. Like he was saying that a man. And what that nigga said, shit. Yeah, he was saying that boys have certain tendencies, certain problems that a woman ain't gonna know what to fucking do with. Like, this nigga gonna wake up, when he wake up from his first wet dream, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And the vice versa, like, a girl, when she have a period, like, yeah, the father, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the father is gonna be like, oh, okay, baby, that's just your period. You know, your body going through some changes. But nah, man, it's not gonna sound as comforting as your mom. Your mama's like, oh baby, oh okay, I got you. This what this whoopie whoop. This what it is. You good. You alright. Like yeah, it literally warps the experience. Your human, you know what I'm saying? Those are experiences that are important as humans. As in our development, and you're just warping. You're just warping that development. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, I'm no, go ahead.
I was just saying I agree that it definitely does have an impact on their development.
Yeah, no. But that's it, man. I ain't trying to talk in circles, man. But yeah, I'm just go back to listening, man, and yeah, Honcho, you putting in that work, man. I appreciate that.
Alrighty, man. I appreciate you for tuning in there, man. I'm glad you get to catch it.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And I'm not saying all of them, Alicia. I'm not saying that Alicia. Was it Alicia or Alicia? Like I don't know. I be fucking names up. Y'all don't be mad at me. Be fucking your name up. And it doesn't happen in every instance, But the thing is that I just think that it depends on the type of woman that raises him. And I'm just saying, like, in your instance, I wouldn't know if the women that you're all around, are they all angry at men? Are they all bashing men 24/7? I think that has an impact on the outcome. It can be a woman who's, strong and confident in herself, and she's not using that as a crutch or anything like that. But I think you do have those women who bash everything and anything male and that has an impact on the child. There are a lot of good women. There's a lot of women in my family, you know, and so I don't think that's a negative, an immediate or a definite cause of that. But I think that there are women who impact the child's psychological state, and I think that's what causes that to happen. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this morning?
What's up, man? It's Ferocious.
Ferocious. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind this morning, Ferocious?
Man, just wanted to call drop my 2 cents in on this topic you got going this morning. Yeah, see, personally, what I believe is just, you know, how fucked up I think society is as a whole and everything. Whenever you were born a man or you born a girl, I feel like you were always supposed to be treated like you was a man or a woman. But I know society only wants people to respect the elders. They don't want children getting respect because they feel like I really don't understand why. But I know these children get disrespected way too often, and now I could prove it to you with everything that's going on. You see, when you ask the question, can a woman raise a man? It's a given. If the man is there, the man is going to raise. It's like the time is moving forward. There's nothing stopping the man from becoming the man. It may be happening slow, on a slower scale compared to others, but he was always going to be a man. The woman was always going to be a woman. The girl was always going to be a woman. The boy was always going to be a man. And I could, you know, whenever you see a transsexual out, a man dressed as a girl, what do you say? That's a damn man.
Yeah.
But why? Okay, why are you saying it's a man? It's dressed as a girl. So what constitutes actually being a man? A dick and 2 balls. And what, you know, I'm being real.
Yeah.
But people like to misconstrue and come at things from a different angle. And I think that's something that the law, or what do you call it, the justice system or the courts have abused us so badly. We think like that now. We think like, you know, we realize it's like this, but we want to come at it from a different angle, explain it in a way where we can talk about it more, because everybody likes to gossip. So, you know, on the term, can a man raise a woman? You know, I see how messed up these women have raised these boys to become. And, you know, I mean, shit, I was raised by, I don't know if you really want to call it a single mother, because I mean, sometimes child supports come in, so, you know, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes you see your dad. Sometimes I see my dad. Sometimes I didn't. You know, other family members I know never got a dime from their pops. Never got any time with their dad, and it's easy to see they greatly suffer for it. Now they may say that they're happy with the way they are now, but you know, like I said, people calling you weirdos and shit like that, you know, they can't be too happy. Of course, when you've been abused so bad, your psyche's so your self-esteem is so low. So I would have to say, can a woman raise a single? What was the topic? Can a single woman raise a man? I mean, yeah, it's a given. You know, it's gonna happen, but I gotta put it, like I said, I gotta go back to put it on the man again, because like when you got guys trying to raise a woman, right? And so, you know, someone like Prepaid who said, you know, his daughter was in the restroom and all that, and he didn't know how to handle it. And you know, I just times where I was a little boy waking up, you know, and my mom didn't know how to handle it and just calling me a nasty little motherfucker and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's some, you know, people turn, you know, people can be bad and people can not handle the situation, but I mean, you got to be the one to step up and figure a way to, you know, to handle that. Now, sometimes you can fall back on the significant other, you know, to, or maybe somebody else to help you out in that situation. But the thing is, Honcho, I could get on the internet and get a fucking rocket launcher. I could get on the internet and get an AK with a banana clip. But you can't get on the internet and look up how to handle these things. I mean, all this shit, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's not a lack of knowledge, it's just a lack of effort. Because yeah, I mean, women do it, but when it comes to women doing it, right, raising up a man, people seem to accept that. And I don't see why, when it's the other way around, people seem to want to condemn that, when there's so much factual, I mean, obvious and incoherent evidence as we see that should not be, that should, you know, single women should not be raising a man. I mean, shit, you can drive a car with your feet. That don't make it a good fucking idea. And you know what I'm saying? I know, I mean, I'm just saying, man, I really called with a blank mind because I wanted to come straight from the heart, but man, it's just, you know, everybody's been so corrupted that people seem to fall towards accepting what's comfortable for them, what's the word I'm looking for? Like when shit, man, I forgot that word. I had it in the back of my head. Let me think. Hold on. Fuck. When it's just easy for you, it's easy, makes the situation easier for you. Okay? Like, for example, girls, you know, who get abused. They grow up, they're more feminine, they're more easily taken advantage of, and you know, they tend to, you know, be prettier, wear more makeup, be, like I said, be more feminine. But nobody wants to acknowledge that that's what's actually going on, because it's, damn, man, I can't remember this fucking word I'm trying to think of. If somebody in the chat help me out, it's like when it just makes the situation easier for you. Fuck.
Convenience.
Honcho, you don't know what I'm talking about?
I mean, the only thing I keep thinking of is convenience.
Convenient. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's more convenient for you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I'm a man, right, and society is this way, what's more convenient for me? If I want to get a girl, for her to be raised by a father who raised her to be knowledgeable, guarded, raised her to be a lady, or someone who raised her to be the best hoe she could be. I'm just saying, man. I know a lot of people don't realize this shit, that the shit they're participating in, but I just feel like, you know, when the shoe's on the other foot, single fathers should get the same support, because it's not fair, man. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. I understand that. I definitely understand that. You know, and what you're saying, basically, it all comes down to, man, just step up and handle your business. If you brought something into this world and you need to do your best job, you need to, like you said, you find any kind of information on the internet or whatever else it may be. And sometimes, you know, parents are in a learning process too, and you got to reach out to whatever resources you have. So if somebody else I won't say somebody else to handle your problem, but if someone can assist you with certain situations to help the development of that child, then maybe you need to lean on that or whatever else it may be. But yeah, I mean,
yeah. Hey, and my bad, I mean to cut you off, but it just something struck just when somebody called in saying if you don't raise your kids, the courts will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now these courts, you know, I know, I heard a lot about, you know, like I said, man, I ain't finna sugarcoat this shit. So I know I heard a lot about, you know, black men being, you know, black boys being looked at as black men and shit like that. Well, shit, me growing up, I went through the same shit. You know what I'm saying? I got I got searched as a fucking as a juvenile. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go into the system, but there's plenty of times where, you know, people thought I was stealing. People thought I was in the wrong neighborhood. Cops called on me. Cops fucking with me and all that shit. You know, I went through it too. Now, the way this system is set up, somebody has to be on the bottom, and I'm not saying it necessarily has to be the black people, because it's going on in the Hispanic community too. You know, we don't get no help from the fucking CPS workers and all that shit. We don't get no fucking. And another thing about that CPS shit, you know, whenever there's an investigation open, not from CPS, but say you calling in to report a kid being abused. The sheriff's department, they have investigators too that will do some investigating, and even those motherfuckers won't help us. So let's try to focus on this as a not from a separatist point of view, but as a group, as a whole. This ain't. I don't feel like it's something that's culturally. I don't feel like we're being targeted. They're not targeting us culturally. They're targeting us politically. From like I said, like they want us because they want us to be the best consumers that they can exploit, and they're not gonna help us. You know what I'm saying? And personally, I'll speak on a little bit. I've been through this whole shit with CPS and the sheriff's department and the police department shit. They don't give a fuck, and they told me to my face, we don't care. You know what I'm saying? So what am I inspired? So I told them, I said, look, this last time I went, I said hello. They said yeah. I said, hey, if I come down there, can I speak to somebody face to face? They said yeah. I walked my ass down there. I picked up they got the little intercom shit on the phone. I picked up the phone. I said, hey man, I need to speak to somebody. Y'all bring somebody out here. First, we need to know what it is. What you want? Like, you know, what's the problem? I said, nah, man. Y'all bring somebody out here to talk to me right now. First, we need to know. I just hung up the phone. When I start beating on the door, bang, 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 and I'm the type of motherfucker. I can keep it going. I can keep a pattern going. So when I'm telling you I'm beating on the door, I'm beating on the door for a good 4 minutes. That's a lot of beating. Yeah. I'm beating on the door, bang, bang, bang. They bring the cop out. I'll tell him they brought two cops out, a white cop and a Mexican cop. I shook the Mexican cop hand, told him my name. I shook the white cop's hand. I told him my name. This motherfucker gripped my hand real tight. So I shook the fuck out. You know, I gripped his hand real tight, let him know, hey, you know, I'm not your average motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, his facial expression changed when he seen the strength I got. And I had told him, you know, face to face, hey, this is what's going on. I'll call this organization. I'll call this people, this department, talk to this lady, this investigator. I'll talk to y'all. I'll talk to the sergeant. I'll talk to the... And I ain't getting no fucking help. Now, I want you to tell me what you think a man in my position, a desperate man in my position, feels inspired to do. And what? I still ain't getting no help. I still don't get no help. What do I get? I just get a crazy-ass look, a couple laughs behind my back, and that's it. So, yeah, now, what shit? What they expect? You know what I'm saying? Growing up, raised by a single mother, hey, you know, right when I called in, you were talking about how being raised in an environment where they're just bad-mouthing men all the time. Yeah, that's the kind of environment me and some of my family members was raised in. You know what I'm saying? And when you go out, you see a little boy arguing with his mom, arguing with his grandma, or arguing with their elders. You tend to think that little motherfucker needs ass whooping. Yeah. That little motherfucker is disrespectful. But they don't ever stop and think, because they don't ever want to acknowledge the real problems that's going on out here. And somebody like me, who grew up to confront these motherfuckers in person, they don't like that. So yeah, I don't get a lot of help. I don't get a lot of support. But I know what? I still keep these motherfuckers going. Then when they see me, they know they better watch their goddamn back. Because when I tell you I stick up for me, I mean even to the little kids, even to my little cousins today. You know what? Let me tell you. I mean, I know I'm going a little rant, man, but I'm just gonna finish off with this story right here. I got a little cousin who was raised by, you know, his mom and dad split up, so she got her a boyfriend, whatever. I was like, you know what? I know what it was like. I used to be that little man. I don't want to go over there and I'm gonna see what's going on. So I'll go over there. Hey man, she got a boyfriend or whatever. Dap him up. Yeah. What's up, man? You know, yeah, this and that. We play 2K. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can play some 2K. So shit, I try to let him think I don't care about the little dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey man, get away from me and shit. You know, he's getting a little easier with me. Okay, cool. My friend's gonna come over. He smokes some bud or whatever. I say, yeah, cool. So he comes over. His friend comes over. He shakes my hand. You say, smoke this, man? Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. All right, cool. You want beer? Nah, you know, I don't drink alcohol. You know, because when I do, shit, believe me, that was not a good situation for me drinking alcohol when I'm over there trying to do that. So this motherfucker starts letting his friend pick on my little cousin. So once that shit jumped off, I paused the game, threw the controller to a fucking side, said, hey man, you believe me, you don't want to do that. He said, what? It was just playing. I said, nah, man, I ain't finna let you pick on him like that. And he said, what? And her boyfriend looking at me like, like, shit, I thought you didn't mind. I thought you didn't care. Yeah, because that's what I wanted you to think. Now I'm finna show y'all what's real. So I grabbed this motherfucker, threw him on the floor. I said, hey, man, you ain't finna pick on this motherfucker no more. You hear me? But, before all that happened, I sent the little boy to his room. I didn't let him see all that go down. I said, man, go to your room and go work on your homework. He went to his room to get on homework. That's when we got to business. And then he called my cousin. She came to the house. I don't know what she was out there doing, but she came to the house and told me, you can't be coming over here. You're gonna be acting like that and shit. So I told her, hey, I'll come over here as much as I want, as long as y'all smoking weed around these kids. I'll pop up in the middle of the goddamn night. Stop letting these motherfuckers pick on y'all's kids, even if they older. Because that's what a lot of single moms like to let go on. Because it's easy to make a friend like that. It's easy to get. Oh yeah, you want to pick on them? Go ahead, shit. Now she got somebody that's gonna buy her, a meal on the weekend or help her with a little extra cash when she won't even need the fucking cash. She just want to get a hustle on. That's the kind of environment I grew up in. But you know what, Honcho? I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too egotistical like I know I usually do, man. But I'm just saying. It ain't fair. It really ain't. I'm gonna let y'all go, man.
All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us, Ferocious. And hey, somebody got to look out for the youth, man, if they getting mistreated. So I understand.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right,
appreciate you.
All right, you have a good one. All right. Now, in a different situation, I guess, without being involved, hands-on, you don't really know what's going on, and so you kind of gotta be there. There ain't nothing wrong, letting somebody know, letting one of the youth know that somebody care for them. Because I ain't too keen on we ain't family. It's a different type of situation. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling into the den this morning?
Professor Trill, what's up, Honcho?
Professor Trill, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind today, man?
To call in and give my little 2 cents on this question.
All right, what you got?
And typically, I don't like answering the question with another question, but do they really have a choice?
Do they have a choice? I mean, is there? Okay, let's put it like this. So you say, do they have a choice? I think, is there a way to supplement their parenting? Do you think that that's a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's precisely where I was going to go next with it.
Okay.
You have to identify the primary thing. First of all, you don't have a choice. Somebody got to raise the kid, whether it's a single mother or a single father. You don't have a choice. You got to do it. But the other part is setting your ego and pride aside and realizing that you can pretty much give the child everything they need, but there's certain little nuances that you need a person from the opposite sex to fill in the gaps. Because I was raised by my mom, single mother, for most of my life until my stepfather came around. But the things that I remember, my mom been there for me every day. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of shit that she did that I don't even remember no more.
Yeah.
My earliest memories are from my grandfather, and like it's just a few little instances of shit that he taught me without really teaching me. It's just that I watched him and how he moved around, how he interacted with people, and how respected he was in his neighborhood and how respected he was in the family. You know what I'm saying? And just a little short story. I remember when I was real young, and it's probably about 6 or 7, and he was like, "Come on, boy, let's go around the corner." And I didn't know what the hell that meant, but I'm like, I'm going with my grandpa, so let's go. So I get in the car, you know what I'm saying? He buckled me up in the front seat, no airbags, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? He had like a 1980 something Oldsmobile 98 Regency. I still remember that motherfucker. It was white with peanut butter interior. Hell yeah, with Vogues on that bitch. The car was super clean. Anyway, I digress. And he took me around the corner to this little hole in the wall little bar. Now I didn't know what the fuck it was. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm a young child, and I remember him walking me in there. And he set me up on the bar stool at the bar with all these older motherfuckers smoking and everything. Look, y'all got to understand, this is a while back. This is the 80s. So I sat on the bar, and this little old gravelly voice-ass lady came up to me and said, how you doing today, sir? And then I'm looking at him, and he's like, no, she's talking to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm fine. And he's like, what would you like to drink? And then again, I looked at him, and he was like, tell her what you want.
Yeah.
And I ordered a milk. Come on now, I'm a kid. And so she was like, right up. So she served it to me in the same glasses and shit that all the other men was drinking out of. And other men was there like, hey, that's your son, Barreto? And he's like, yeah. He said, that's the youngest of the family right there. At that time, I was the youngest. And they was like, oh, how you doing? And they was shaking my hand. And then he looked at me. He said, now you got to shake it firm. Now, that's when I learned to shake a man's hand firmly. So I was squeezing as hard as I can because he was old grown man. You know what I'm saying? So I was shaking their hand, and the other little skanky ladies walking around in the bar, they came and said, hey, and shit. But they showed this man utmost respect. And I was like the center of attention in this whole bar full of grown folk. And I'm a child. And so I was just like, I never forgot that because I never experienced nothing like that ever again in my life. So I said all that to say this. Ladies, y'all could do everything y'all want to do for y'all son. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of fondest memories they're going to have of father figures. We're always going to identify with them a lot more than we identify with you. And it's not your fault. And it's not to hurt your feelings. That's just a fact. It just is. So you can do everything it is that you can in your power, and we're going to love you for it. Trust me. Because we'll kill a motherfucker for you. Straight like that. You can say or do anything you want to do to my stepdad, I can care less. But if you step to my mama in any way, shape, or form, nigga, you going to have a motherfucking problem. It gets to the point sometimes to where I get so agitated with my little brother. If he say something to my mama that I don't like, I'll fuck him up too. This is the way I am, bro. Because I understood the sacrifices that this woman made for me, and I am not going to let nobody disrespect this woman.
I agree.
It's not going to happen. So I really want to talk about it from looking at it from the child's point of view of how we see and remember things. Now, my case may be different than a lot of other children. You know what I'm saying? But it really depends on the child. Every boy is going to look up to a father figure. That's just a given. But you also have to take in consideration the type of father figure that your child in particular needs. Because every child ain't the same. You know, some of them have behavioral problems. Some of them act out a lot. Some of them don't know how to control their emotions. Some of them are emotionless. You know, and some of them are more secluded, don't like to talk a lot. Some of them are soft. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on what kind of man that you are expecting your son to be. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take into consideration the type of person that they're going to develop in, because you can see what they're trending toward.
Yeah.
You can see it, because me and my stepdad don't get along. Never have, because he was the type that, you go out, you work hard every day, blood, sweat, and tears, 9 to 5 type of nigga. That's just the way he is. I'm not like that. I'm a cerebral guy. I would rather work smarter than harder. So, he sent me out there. All right, I need you to go out there and cut that grass and go rake them leaves. Okay, cool. So I go out there, cut the grass. I rake the leaves. I get it to a certain point. Then I found out we had a leaf blower.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit. So I blow all the shit into a pile and then rake them up the best I can. Then put them. He didn't like that because I did it smarter, and he wanted me to work harder. Basically, he wanted me to toughen up. He was doing his damnness, trying to toughen me up, but he wasn't understanding the fact that that's not how I work.
Yeah.
You can't reach me that way because I just don't think that that's smart.
Yeah.
To just do all that extra work when you don't have to do it that way. And so he and I would always, clash over that shit. So it did help me in a sense because he got me out there and he showed me how to do a lot of that shit. But I took what he showed me, applied my logic to it, and made it work where it was easier and better for me, where I can get it done faster and more efficient. So what was the problem?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what we would clash at. So, again, it just depends on how you're going to try to reach that child. Because every method don't work the same way. Once I got into sports, I respected my coaches more than I respected my stepdad. And that's just being honest with you. Because my coaches saw that I had intelligence. So they used that to propel me further, to teach me how to do things in my own way to where I could learn it faster. Because they was like, okay, well, I didn't know you was that smart. Okay, so we're going to do this. I don't have to dumb this down for you. So you found a way to adapt to teach them. And I feel real bad for Ferocious, man, because that's fucked up. When you got a mama like that telling you that niggas ain't shit and men ain't shit, but you knowing in the back of your mind that she talking about you, too. Even if she mean it that way or not, but you're going to grow up to be a man eventually. That fucks with your psyche. So you feel like your mama got some kind of disdain towards you just because you got a dick and balls. So that's kind of fucked up for you to grow up feeling like that.
Yeah.
It just is. A lot of these women don't know how to deal with the man, don't know what a man's supposed to be. Just like female pimp been saying, like, you think this, and this constitutes you being a man. Not necessarily, and not just that in particular. So I see what you're trying to say, but all of that helps. Those are little pieces. Like, you fill in the gaps like I was talking about. All that little shit helps for you to build up a base of what a man should be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and that's the thing, because, men, when it comes down to it, I think women internalize, men externalize. And so, when you don't know how to deal with those feelings and emotions and you're not really getting that guidance, that's why you see a lot of these young dudes go out here doing and engaged in destructive behaviors, because that's the only way they kind of figure to get, I don't know if it's a response or whatever it is that they're seeking to get out of it, because they don't really understand how to process some of their situations, or, so they just have to go out and do whatever it is that they're doing. If nobody's telling them, hey, this is how this should be operated, this is how you should move, and I think that's why you have, we talk about men create, more violence or do more crimes and things like that. And it comes from, I think, that lack of stability in the household. I'm not just going to put that on the woman. I think, as many callers have said before, if you're a man and you have a child, and you got to do what you have to do to step up and be a part of their life. But, but a lot of situations are primarily, female-dominated households. And if they do have some type of bitterness towards, the father of their kids or men as a whole, it does have an impact on the son. It does have an impact on the men. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of like I said, it's a lot of nuances, and again, every situation is different, so it's hard to try to lump everything together. But yeah, I mean,
but I am going to speak on this.
Mm-hmm.
If you have feminist ideals, you cannot raise a boy to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a single, independent woman, and you have that train of flawed thought that they have, it's going to be difficult for you to raise a man properly. If you are a woman who realizes that you don't have all the answers and that he will need some sort of male influence, absolutely. You can raise a child to be a man up to a certain point, but you realize that you do need some help. If you're willing to admit that and subject your child to getting some of that extra help that you can't provide for them, you absolutely can do it. Absolutely. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to. Because then the child gets everything that he needs. Those blanks get filled in. And for this other guy about to Danny B. Moore, I wasn't saying shit about being gay. What the fuck is you talking about?
I think that
Obviously you're not listening.
I think she may be behind on the chat because you're talking about the policy, and I think that's what Ferocious was talking about on the policies. Because I don't think you can say anything about policies against black people.
No, absolutely not.
So I think she may be behind in the chat on the stream or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, but it also depends on the mom too, because if she's one of the motherfuckers that's just too proud and don't want her son to be like a lot of these other men out here, which is the fear for all of us. That's kind of a problem because you're basically guarding him from being subjected to the fuck shit that men do too. Because what a lot of y'all just be failing to understand sometimes, a bunch of that negative shit, it can teach you some strong lessons too. Just from watching another motherfucker fail, you learn a lot. Why do you think that a lot of these, if you put it in a sports perspective, backup quarterbacks learn? Well, they were like, damn, well, that shit didn't work. I can see it from a whole nother view when you not in the situation. But you also can learn a lot when you in, when your feet is in the fire. But you can learn both ways. You learn both ways. You get the more of a feel for it when you're in it, but you get the perspective when you're not, because you can see everything instead of just having a limited view scope. So you benefit from both. You can't just benefit from one or the other. You have to have a little bit of both. How you ever gonna learn about being in a relationship if you've never been in one, even though you've been around a lot of people that's been in one? You can see a lot from the outside looking in, but you need to look from the inside looking out too. You need both of those perspectives, and a lot of people be failing to do that. They only want to see things from their point of view, and that's where a lot of problems occur. Well, I want him to be like that because that's what I think, that's what I want for him, but it's not about just what you want for him. It's what he wants for himself also once it comes to a certain point. After a kid turns about 13, the raising is pretty much done. And a lot of my brother argued with me about this. He was like, bro, you ain't got no kids. How the fuck you know? I say, bro, I'm telling you because I've seen it. I've watched it. I talked to my mama about it. She raised me. Once that child get about 13, the raising is done. Everything after that is decision making. Everything after that is decision making. Letting them know, look, these are your options. Laying it out for them. If you choose this, and what happens. This is the pros and cons of this decision. If you choose this, et cetera, et cetera. And then they have to start learning how to make decisions for themselves. And then also having to learn to live with the consequences of the decisions that they make.
Exactly.
Just like Prepay said, if you don't show them that trait, the justice system going to show them. And they not going to lay it out for you at all. They ain't going to deal with nothing but the consequences. They're not going to give you no option. So, I'm telling y'all, everything before 13 is crucial. But once they get that teenager stage, man, you got to work on the decision making. Because that's why a lot of these teens get fucked up. They've been raised by, because they could be raised by some of the best, nice, sweetest, most caring parents. You know what I'm saying? Daddy was there every day, showed them how to be responsible and everything. But if they don't never teach them how to properly make decisions or see where they lacking at in certain decision makings in certain areas and try to help them there, they're going to go out in the world and get influenced by all these other people. And then they're going to start fucking up. Be like, well, I might just try it this one time. That one time could be your last. And I see a lot of people in the chat saying, well, if you raise them right, then Of course they won't go out there and get influenced by that shit. Well, of course they will because it's something new. People are attracted to new shit. Shit that looks nice and shiny and brand new. It gets your attention. But you got to understand pros and cons of dealing with this new shit. So you got to teach them that. You just do. To me, that's the most important part.
Okay. I mean, I can't disagree with everything you're saying, and especially about that at 13, because you got to think about it. When you were 13, you were set for the most part as
your personality is pretty much set in.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just need to figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to help them with that.
Yeah.
What do you want to do the rest of your life? Well, I don't know. Well, okay, well, let's see what you're good at. You sit down with them and you talk to them about this shit, and then they learn shit about their damn self because they don't know the options that they got. So you help them learn those options.
Yeah.
And then they choose accordingly. And whatever they decide to choose, they know and understand this is on me. And be like, well, look, if you want to go to college, this is what we got set up. Or I'm not able to afford to send you to college, so this is what you got to do to get there. If that's what you want to do, you got to go apply for these scholarships, get some financial aid. You also got to have good enough grades to get into the school you want, and you have to get accepted by this school. If you do all that at home, it's going to help them greatly. Because if you don't give a fuck about your child, and you don't want to deal with your child, you think the teacher going to want to do more for them than you? Absolutely not. The counselor is just going to do whatever the student asks them to do.
Yeah.
The counselor not going to come to your house and talk to your child.
Hell no. Yeah.
So it's a lot of good parents out there. It really is. I see a lot of them, and I see some that's struggling, but they doing the best they can, and salute to you. You know what I'm saying? Especially to the ones that struggling and doing the best they can. Salute to y'all, because it could be rough, man. Some of these kids is hard to deal with. They just are. So salute to the parents out there. I can't do it. Not yet. Well, I can. I just chose not to be honest.
And I can't blame you for that, man. I can't blame you for that.
Yeah.
No, man. I think you covered it pretty well, man. I think you covered it pretty well. So I have nothing else to add or question on to that.
Yeah, and also, if you're a single woman, talk to your son. Not talk at him. Talk to him.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let him understand some of these nuances. Because I had a situation a couple of months ago. One of my younger male cousins, he probably about, 12, 11. I don't even know how old the little nigga is. But we was barbecuing at the house. He had a little family get together. We was queuing at the crib. And I was in the kitchen putting some meat in the pot, you know what I'm saying, getting it off the pit. And he in there, and his mama said, what do you want? What do you want? What are you doing in here? And he's like, oh, I'm just sitting here listening to y'all. She was like, no, why don't you go outside with a men at? And he said, but it's hot out there. She said, so you a man. She said, let me tell you something. And this is the realest shit I ever heard this girl ever say. She said, you know how I be telling you about your grades all the time? He was like, yeah. She said, if you don't get them damn grades up, the job that you're going to have to work when you get older, you're going to be outside like that all the time. So if you're not planning on getting your grades up, you need to carry your ass outside and get used to that heat because you're going to be out there in it. She said, now go on outside with the rest of the men folk and talk with them. And so he turned around reluctantly, but he turned around and went outside, and I just looked at her. I was like, that was some real shit right there. That was extremely honest. And she did that to prove a point. So now he got something to think about.
Yeah.
Like, damn, is this what I really want?
Yeah.
The ball is in your court, young man. What you gonna do about it?
And yeah, some of those points that have a physical connection to them, I think those make the most lasting impact. I mean, it's just something that you can correlate a feeling or an experience. Sometimes you can talk to the kid and you're just saying some stuff, you know, it's not gonna mean anything, but you know that he has that emotional connection to that heat that he don't want to fuck with. And like you said, by saying that he going out there, he gonna remember that lesson.
Because she could have just talked at him, boy, go on your ass outside. There's a bunch of ladies that just gone. But she decided to talk to him. That's a difference. And every lady in here and across the world is capable of doing it. But some of y'all, I guess, don't see the relevance. But it's extremely relevant. But anyway, that's my call. I'm going to see what y'all talking about in the chat.
Already. Professor Trill, as always, man, another great call. I appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, man.
Already. Shout out to the land of the trio, Professor Trill. Man, there have been a lot of great calls today. I'll probably get ready to wind it down here. Maybe wait, a minute or two, see if we get maybe one more. We may do one last call or something like that. But hey, man, if you're tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. If you if you new to this, hit that subscribe and that like button. We go live every evening, 10 p.m. Central. Every morning, Monday through Friday, the weekdays, 10 a.m. Central. And again, as you see, the call-in line. And if you enjoy the content, other people who may enjoy it, tell them to go to denshowlive.com and, tell them to hit that subscribe button. We'd love to hear their thoughts as we continue to grow this channel, man. Not channel, community. Because it's not a channel. It's not about watching. It's about participating. It's about having a conversation that society says we're not supposed to have. But I think if we stop being so PC, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all Den Show Live. You want to send an email, denshowlive@gmail. It's about having these conversations that we need to have. And I think if we were more open with these conversations, that the experiences that we have in society would change. But instead of people trying to figure out every little thing in their own way, I think, people may be setting their opinions. We're all grown here. So a lot of people are going to be setting their own way of thinking and their own opinions. But at the same time, you have to, there's little nuggets that you can take and apply to yourself. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this morning, afternoon? It's just afternoon now, so yeah. Man, it's hard to hear you. You just sound real straight. Like I can barely make out what you're saying. It's like real scratch. I can't hear what you're saying too much. It's still rough. How about this? Hang up and call right back. I'll take your call. All right, bet. He said he's new to me. Star 18 stash up there. I got a cool hat. Oh, it's all virtual. What's the motherfucking deal? Huh? What happened to it? Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, it's all virtual stuff. Do you think it's more damaging for a child to see his father once a year than being a Midwest idol? No, I think that he, every chance he needs, he has an opportunity to see him and understand what he's doing and why, even if it's just to have those brief conversations with him. I think it's very necessary. I think it's better than going that long distance without him. Let him be a part of the small, what's the word I'm looking for? Even if it's segmented, but allow him to catch up, man to man. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Yeah, Honcho, this is Edwin again. Can you hear me better?
You loud and clear. 10-4, good buddy.
All right, cool. All right, now I just want to, I know I called in earlier. I just wanted to call in real quick and piggyback on something that the Trill just said. Trill always be calling in with that real shit, man. So shout out to Trill. But yeah, man, he said that the women got to cast their pride aside. Because I know women, these strong black, these strong independent women in general. I don't want to say black. These strong independent women in general. I know it's hard for y'all to cast your pride aside, but like Trill said, you got to cast your pride aside and accept some help. Because like you said, they don't have a choice. They got to raise them. Somebody got to raise them. And so these women that are in a situation like my little sister, for instance, she's in a situation, and things went south with her and her nigga. He chimes in here and there, but he ain't actively in my nephew's life. And so I've and this is just the type of brother I am, the type of man I am. I've taken it upon myself to help her out. She never asks for the help. She never does. Like, she never calls us like, hey, can you watch him? Hey, can you do the, hey, can you? Like, she just puts all of that shit on my mama. And I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? My mama's 50-some years old. And, you know, she's in a transitional period in her life. She just went through a divorce and all that. I don't want her, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like that shit. So I take it upon myself to watch him a lot of times. Like, he's in the back seat right now, fucking terrorizing me. But but I love him to death, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, just women, just I know y'all are strong, strong-minded, and you have to be to raise a son, shit, raise a child by yourself. But just ask for help, man. If you got siblings, cousins, but you know, particularly males, that's what I would, you know, have them around more guys, have them around more men. That should always be a priority of yours. Like, man, get my son around some men, my son around some guys, some positive men though. Not any kind of niggas. You know what I'm saying? Any kind of some positive men. And that's all, man. I just want to leave with that, Honcho. I didn't want to make this a long call, but I felt like, you know, Trill hit a good point with that. You know, ask for help, man, because we understand y'all don't have a choice but to, you know, raise them. Y'all, you know, somebody got to raise motherfuckers. But you know, ask for help. Help is there. You know, it is. There ain't no way possible that you in this world by yourself. You ain't got no family that can help out. Like, it just ain't possible. So, you know, single mothers, ask for help, man. You would not be, trust me, you will not be ridiculed for asking for help. You won't. We completely understand. You will not be ridiculed. You won't. And if you are ridiculed, then fuck that motherfucker. Shame on him. Or shame on them, whoever. But yeah, man, that's it, Honcho. I know you're trying to wrap it up, man. So that was it, man. Trill just dropped some real shit right there, though.
Already, but I agree, man. Ask for help. Ain't nothing wrong with asking for help, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. All right, but that's a bit, Edwin, man. I appreciate the call, man.
Oh yeah.
Already.
All right.
So we're gonna wrap it up on that one, but I see some people call it. We're gonna take this call because I know this person's been trying to call in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
This is Danny D. Moore.
Okay, Miss Danny, what's on your mind?
I've been listening to some of the calls, and God, I kind of lost my train of thought with some of them. But to me, a lot of this topic has gone so far off the rail. You know, being a single mom isn't exclusive to being black. It's not exclusive to being white, Hispanic, Italian, Mexican, Indian, or any other thing. You know, being a single mom is just something, you know, to have some people choose it, some people come into it, or various different things. Because I keep hearing a lot of this about maybe it's because you're up there and they're looking at you as the face of everything. You're a black man that they're talking to, so everything is black related. But you have a wide audience, from what I can tell. And it's not just about being black. It's about, you know, what the topic is about, you know, can a woman, you know, raise a man? And I think a lot of the callers were on point with a lot of the stuff they said. But then you got some of the callers that I think went a little way left, like the one caller with the whole gay thing. I didn't understand what any of that whole a child being gay or anything had to do with the woman who raised him. You know, I'm not gay, never been gay, but I have 3 boys who are all very different. One is gay, and one not, and one I don't know what the hell he's gonna be yet. You know, one very manly, one gay, one, you know, like that. They all have their own personality, but I don't think it's because it's something I did to him as a parent. And at the time when we realized whatever his sexuality was, I wasn't a single parent. He had both his parents in the home, and always had been since he was conceived and everything. So, you know, I didn't have any of my kids out of wedlock. So as far as who they're gonna be, that threw me off right there, and that just to me that was bad taste. You know, the whole, you know, if your child is gay, it has something to do with how the woman was raising him and all of this kind of stuff. You know, when my son was born, the one that is gay, first of all, when he was born, he was just so pretty. He was pretty than most. He's just beautiful. He had hair. He had such a beautiful head of hair. And that was just his mannerisms. And, you know, as much as I tried to discourage it, and you know, when he wanted to do certain things, and my husband, we would get into arguments about it and stuff. But none of it had to do with with the woman raising him. It had to do with who he was inside. So sexuality, people been homosexual and bisexual, whatever standard you want to call it, since biblical times. It ain't no generational thing, this generation, that has happened. That's something totally different than the topic we were discussing. And another thing I wanted to go, as far as to how, you know, as to what, you know, the topic as to what makes a woman, I would say what makes a woman a good woman or a good mother is totally different than raising, it's also different than raising, you know, it's also different than being a single parent. One has nothing to do with the other. And to me, it just seemed like, you know, some of these calls that we had, while they all make good points if we're on those topics and everything, had nothing to do with whether a woman can raise a man. No, she can't. And I've said that. No, a woman, she can raise a man, but she can't teach a man how to be a man. She can just raise a person to be good and stuff. But that has nothing to do with how he walks around his neighborhood. I just think those are, you know, those are way different things.
Okay. So I have a question to ask you, Ms. B. Moore, if you don't mind me asking.
No, go ahead.
So at what point or what age did you realize your son's sexuality?
I'm gonna tell you, I knew since he was about 4 years old. To be honest, you know, it was his mannerisms. And you know, you go through these things, and I don't have any girls. I have all boys. You know, I got my little girl dog, but I have all boys. And I always wanted a girl. So first I used to think, did I do something? Did I, you know, shell off something on him? Did I send some vibe because I wanted a girl so bad? Did I treat him like a girl because he had, you know, beautiful hair and all of that kind of stuff? So his father, you know, because I would put his hair in, you know, in a big ponytail or different things like that, or plait it up. To me, that wasn't making him feminine. Even if I put him, no matter what I put him in, what kind of clothes, everybody always thought he was a girl. He was wearing blue everything, and they still thought he was a girl. But the way he carried himself and who he is now, out of all of my children, I can say this about him. That's going to be the one right there that take care of me. That's going to be the one that take care of his father. That's going to be the one making things happen. His mentality, he's so independent in his thought process. His sexuality is just going to be something he has to go through in life. But as far as who he is as a person, that's the politician. That's the smart one. That's the one that's always self-motivated. Like I said, all your kids are different. They ain't think you got a favorite. But that's the one right there that's on his own path.
Okay. I'm just curious about that, because you know, you hear so many different opinions on that. It's just good to hear something from a more first-hand perspective.
I'm telling you, it irked his father. I mean, you know, his dad from down south. He's from Mississippi, and you know, it irked him to no end. And, oh my God, like, you know, his hair. He cut his hair. When he cut his hair, I was so pissed. You cut my child's hair because you wanted him to be more masculine. So you cut men. To me, men have hair. You got hair. And he's like, you sitting there, you cut my child's beautiful long hair because he cut it when he was 4 years old too. I was so mad. But you go through everything, you know, with the different children, and like I said, my children from the time they were born, I got married. 3 years into my marriage, I had my first child. So my children have had their mother and father in their home, raising them, traveling with them. Because we were a military family, traveling with them, and they had both parents in their home up until my oldest was 16. You know, and he's 19 now. So it's like I said. So I don't think that one has anything to do with the other.
Okay. Interesting. That's interesting. Like I said, it's something I've always wondered about. Okay.
And then as far as like what it takes, like when a child is into, you know, like the one call talking about when the kid walked in and the parent, the mother made him go out. Now that's, you know, that's great. But you know, and I'm saying, so you tell a child, you know, you stay in a child's place. First of all, you will need to be sitting in here in the middle of grown folks' conversation. Never mind what you're going to be when you grow up.
Yeah.
You don't need to sit here in my face, in grown folks' face, having an hour conversation, and chime in if you want. Opie, I know, like when my great grandmother was alive, I wish I would enter in her, conversation. You know, it just didn't work like that. But we talk about generational things, and that was another thing I wanted to talk about. We talk about, and the sad truth, if we wanted to talk about the black family and different things, is that this generational thing, you know, what defines the generation? What year we talking about? Because the kids, I'm damn near 50 now. So if you talk so we're talking what, 2 generations past and different things? Because when I was growing up, as far as my father, and I'm going to say my father and his generation, when him and my mom got married and had us, they were rolling stones all over the place. You could, you know, because people our age, we got brothers and sisters all over the city. So it ain't something today that just happened overnight. That's the truth of it, that people know. They keep talking about this generation. This generation learned what they learned from the generation before it. The things that started to happen to the family, like I said, when people, you know, and to bring the politics in it, when Democrats, you know, you black, you have to be Democrat, that you can't have a man in the household because you get more money the other way and stuff like that. And people fell into that trap, and they started to separate these families. It was in the 60s, 50s, 60s, and that's when all these households fell apart. And stuff. But that ain't a thing in 2019 that this generation started. It's something that I saw happening when my mom and dad and people in their age range, and probably in the age range before them, had kids all over the place by multiple parents, by multiple women. And today, you go out there, it's most of these families, it ain't too many of our families that don't have at least 3 outside family relations. So this kid, you be a single mother over here, but your one son got a family over here that's active in his life. The sisters, because it ain't the father, it's the sisters and the grandmother that's active in their life. Then you got this daughter over here who her father don't give 2 hoots about her, don't come see her. Then you got this little baby right here, and you don't even know who that baby daddy is. But it's not a thing, you know, that just happened. Because my sister found out when she was in her 30s that my father wasn't her father. He was off. I don't know. I don't even know how to respond to how you feel. It was always an issue later on between us because it was like when my mother passed in the midst of all that, and so it kind of felt, well, this is your dad, it's not my dad, and all this kind of stuff, and it became these things that we had to deal with within the family, and then whoever that most mature child is not always the oldest child. You then have to take on the parental responsibilities, and whatever the mother left behind, you end up having to pick up the pieces for and putting everybody back together.
Well, that's true. And it did start a long time ago, and the residual effects have compounded. And I agree with you. They started a lot of those policies that started back, I want to say about the 60s. And so, yeah, I can agree with that. And then, like you said, having families kind of all over the place. The majority or most folks I do know do have a situation similar to that.
Yeah. And it's now today, the families are so mixed. Everybody got white people in families today. So I say, there ain't no black thing. Everybody got white people. Everybody Hispanic. I always tell people at work, I'm a black, African American, Italian, Irish, Indian, woman. Well, that's what I am. All these things mixed up in one because in the end, you are. So it ain't no black thing. Do we have to go through? We have to go through sometimes, yes. As a woman, I have things I have to go through, yes. But when we rise to the occasion to step up to whatever role or adversity that we've been presented with in life, you will know who you are. You will find out things about yourself that you never knew. No matter what those challenges are in your situation. So when you rise to the occasion, you'll learn what you're made of and who you are. That's all I can say.
All right. Well, Ms. B. Moore, I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Okay.
All right, thank you. How them greens coming along?
Oh, they are coming along beautiful, and I'm now working on my potato salad.
Oh, man. Now hold on. We got a question. What color is your potato salad?
Yellow.
Okay. Do you put raisins in a potato salad?
Put what?
Do you put raisins in your potato salad?
No.
Okay, cool. We good.
That sounds like a tuna salad or something. I don't know.
Hey, we
don't do no raisins.
Yeah, we had experienced a couple of streams back. Well, about a month or so ago. We were talking about foods, and there was some discrepancies in some of the foods, and I heard some scary things about people's potato salad. So I just had to make sure.
That's another thing in our household. Some people put sugar in. They put sugar in the spaghetti. They put sugar in the potato salad. They put sugar and everything. They wonder why their kids off the rail, and they think they're eating lead. No, they had too much damn sugar. They were crazy because they over intoxicated.
Now I used to get on my old lady about that. She be trying to put sugar in the spaghetti. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Don't do that shit. Don't do that ever again. She was trying to put that sugar in the spaghetti. I'm like, nah. We can't have that. That's that Californian shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Ms. McMorgan.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Have a good evening. All right. We're gonna end it on that note. Yeah, sugar in the spaghetti, man. Sugar in the spaghetti. Like, I seen that shit. I just happened to be passed by the kid. What? Picking around the corner, that little Kevin Hart face. What the fuck going on here? Hold on, pump all the way. What are you doing? What is this? This ain't breakfast cereal. What are you doing? I'm like, man, you better stop with that nonsense. Yeah, it's to make it taste, man. This shit is fine. It does not need any damn spaghetti. No any sugar in the damn spaghetti. We're not gonna do that anymore. Make this the final time. Yeah, man, that's wild stuff. That stuff is wild. So, yeah, man, we gonna have to have that food topic again. Well, it wasn't a topic. I don't know what night was that, but it came up, and Miss V was sharing some of the coworkers with the raisins in the potato salad, and somebody put lemon in the pecan pie. I think that was Roman was sharing that story, Then I know Professor Trill, they had the little work potluck, and he was talking about the potato salad was white. You know, he had to school him on a potato salad. So, yeah, man, everybody's recipe ain't right. So, you know, sometimes you got to do some investigating. You have to inquire. You have to inquire on what's going on. Shit, that is. I'll just put this, but I wish it's gonna have a reverse effect. Look, I mean, all that voodoo, what they say with that voodoo shit, the voodoo spaghetti shit, they motherfucker be putting, what did they say? I heard that shit when I was young. That's some shit I ain't never want to hear because I've never forgotten. They talking about motherfuckers will bury the draws in the front yard to try to keep a man or some shit like that. You know, it's there's some other stuff going on out here. I mean, everybody ain't the same. You know, as much as we have a lot of things in common, and part of the DNA is to discover those commonalities, but some people do. It's the little things that people do a little bit. You said it might have been confession. They just want to see how people's gonna respond. Well, let me change this recipe. I seen how the DN responded. Eat Whataburger. Yeah, you gotta protect yourself. You know what you're gonna get from Whataburger. But yeah, so here's the deal, man. Again, I feel like it was another great stream. What is a Whataburger stop, Shannon? First, we talked about the chitlins, the gumbo, the hot sauce, and now you're talking about some Whataburger. Don't do it. Don't do it. Look, I'm punching holes in your card. Yeah, we ain't gonna play that voodoo spaghetti. That's some shit that'll get you. Look, we gonna have some issues. We gonna have some serious problems. But be for real, I was saying earlier, I didn't get a chance to. I woke up a little bit late today. I hit that snooze button a couple of times, so my schedule was a little bit off. So I hadn't had a chance to watch the video. But I got a couple of things I'm gonna be watching. Like I said, I know Ms. B Moore sent me something. I know the Darion Vince thing, his semi-explanation. I got to check that out, and I need to go listen to that Quanell X interview he did on 97.9. I'm gonna be honest, man. I can't tell you the last time I've listened, heard, or just anything from 97.9. And if y'all don't know what 97.9 is, 97.9 The Box is a Houston radio station. So Quanell X did an interview on the local radio station, the R&B and hip hop, or whatever. Fuck 97.9. But and so he did an interview there. So I'm gonna check that out too, and I'm gonna check out the video that you sent. So I'm gonna check out a lot of things. And what you mean down here? Is up there, you mean? You know what I'm saying? Up there, y'all, you up there. You know, we down here, you know what I'm saying? But actually Whataburger's about to start going nationwide. They're supposed to be getting somebody's I forgot what company who's supposed to be picking them up. They're gonna actually end up buying the franchise, I believe. And they said they're gonna start pushing them nationwide. So, you know, backyard burger. What? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, 97.9, like when Houston had their little run of artists, and then everybody stole the drink. Everybody sipping lean now. Everybody screwed up now all of a sudden. That's why I can't rock with Atlanta. Atlanta will take your shit and run with it. I don't care if you're from Atlanta and y'all don't like it. Atlanta will take your music and run with it. They stole that shit from Memphis with the crunk music. Next thing you know, they were screwed and chopped and like, what is going on? But yeah, man. So, well, yeah, they're supposed to be getting pushed nationwide. So, you know, it's gonna be that. Yes. There go V. Look, you talk about some raisins in the potato salad, and look who pop up. Interesting. But yeah, man. So shout out to everybody. Boosie trying to say he started to drink. Stop. Yeah, and you know, I'll say Wayne did more for that than if you talking about anybody out of Louisiana with that drink shit. It probably Wayne did more than that than anything, because he was out here in the city for a minute, you know, because he went to school out here for a little bit, and then you know, we all know what happened after that. But we already know H-Town is where it started, because even Wayne, he even had to spit the little Big Mo verse on one of them mixtapes. He did it. I gave him props for that. But but yeah, so, you know, it is what it is, man. But I fuck with y'all. I appreciate y'all. All the callers and everybody who had brought, yeah, they've been on Drake for a long time. But niggas, you know, as far as pushing it to a bigger scale, you know, everybody was listening to Wayne. But shit, Houston had that run, and the next thing you know, everybody was doing it. I remember when UGK and then Jay-Z did Big Pimpin', and Jay-Z was talking about blades. Niggas had no idea what blades were. Jay-Z ain't even know what blades were. He was trying to spell it out, trying to figure it out. And then, you know, but it is what it is. That'll be a conversation for one day. We'll have that on one of those more laid back conversations. Well, you ain't lying, prepaid. But all right, Miss Carol, thank you for joining us today. But here's the deal, like I say, Houston rappers don't support other Houston. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think what you got now, there was a lot of beef. But you know, Pimp tried to bring a lot of that together. But then what you have now, I think you have this younger generation not realize, like Atlanta is different. You know, Atlanta was supposed to be the hub, the melting pot, so I think it was, I won't say it was easier to get on, but they did things a little bit differently. You know, people were going there looking for music. Then you had out here in Houston, niggas was hitting the chitlin circuit, you know, and they had to grind. Like Prepaid was talking about the other day, you seen these dudes at the, you know, the corner store, you seen them at the mall, you seen them wherever, at the club, selling these CDs. You know what I'm saying? Slim Thug, I want to say what, they said he pushed like, what he said, what was it? It was 20,000, 200,000, something off the wall, you know, CDs and shit like that. And a lot of these dudes came up pushing their mixtape and they made their own name. You know what I'm saying? They made their own name. I thought Travis Scott was from Atlanta when I first heard of him, honestly. And they made their own name. And now you got these youngsters who have it easier than ever to get on. Everything is digital. You know what I'm saying? Everything is digital and so much easier to do. And they want somebody to attach them to their name so they can get on, man. You know what I mean? And so that's the problem. Like, Houston is for hustlers, man. Look, SPM now. SPM might not be the best representative, but y'all remember Hustle Town. You know, Houston is for hustlers, man. You got to get on your hustle. Ain't nobody trying to give it to you. But the culture has changed, and you know, all that. It's just it's a different game now. You know, the youngsters don't want to do that hustle when it's easier than ever to get on. You know what I'm saying? So, man, Shannon, don't let V send you the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Look, yeah, that's what I'm telling. Boys, like, look, I don't care what nobody. I'm not condoning his actions or whatever took place with that whole situation. And now, old buddy came out, was Lucky Luciano or whatever, said that about that situation. He kind of got more descriptive about it and how and why. But fellas, check ID. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. But I don't care if you meet them in the club, check the ID, because you know these clubs don't care. They be letting these young chicks in, and you will get into a situation. You will get into a bad situation. But I don't care what nobody says. SPM was one of the hardest niggas in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, working in a fucking strip club. SPM was one of the hardest niggas in here. SPM had flow. And y'all can say what y'all want to say about him and all that other stuff. Man, SPM was close. SPM, anybody, look, y'all ain't want that work with SPM, man. Y'all ain't want that work with SPM. SPM made his own lane. You know what I'm saying? Oh, stop. You're a youngster. You know, that's before your time. Don't make me have to start practicing ageism in here. Shit, now people letting you alter birth. Let me tell you something about SPM. I remember we went to the, what was the car show called? I can't remember. Los Magnificos. I remember he was there one time in Walston. There was a couple other people. He was on the main stage, and that's when he debuted, I want to say that Wiggy video. When I said, it was me and my partner, that was my best friend. He was Mexican. And we slid through there, man. You know, he was just cool, and we was just checking stuff out, whatever. And when I say he had the entire crowd, like, you know, when it rains, turkeys look up at the rain and they stand up with their mouths. Like, turkeys can drown when it rains. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Turkeys can drown when it rains. They'll stand up, they'll look at the clouds, and they can drown. They'll be with their mouth open. When I say everybody look like turkeys in the rain at that bitch, man, I'm talking about the whole crowd stopped and they just staring like nobody was moving. Me and my partner, we dip it all through, just like you see this shit. Like niggas was looking like zombies out there, and that shit was crazy. Like SPM had a fan base. You know what I'm saying? So, and SPM went hard. I don't care what y'all say. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, hey, 10 p.m. tonight, we will be back at it. I'm gonna try to drop some short content, some shorter, videos today on some various topics. Like I said, I got some things to catch up on, so I'm gonna catch up on all that. And I'm gonna get back with y'all tonight, 10 p.m. Central. Tell a friend about the den. Oh, let me do my proper dilly dally. Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to follow on, my personal platforms, you can. I'm gonna learn how to speak this English. First, let me take these headphones off. My ears all hot and sweaty. If you enjoyed the conversation, hit that like button. It's raining outside. Yeah, it's raining. It was raining before I got in here. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to this and you're just tuning in. We do this live every night, 10 p.m. Central. Every weekday, 10 a.m. Central. Den at 10, easiest way to remember it. If you want to follow the Den Show on all the proper socials, Den Show Live, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all Den Show Live. If you want to send an email, you have something you want to share, denshowlive@gmail.com. If you want to support the channel, you can always make a one-time donation via Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/The Den Show. I have the super chats cut off for various reasons, but as we continue to pursue this goal, because hey, baby, I'm trying to get up out the garage. It's hot. Look, it ain't too bad today because I guess the clouds and the rain, but this garage gets a little warm in the summertime. So the goal is to get up out of here so I can, continue to provide you guys better content and do some other different things with this channel. I have a lot of ideas that I want to get into, but as we grow, it will go. So I ain't even tripping on that. Patreon.com if you want to consider making a monthly pledge to support the channel on a monthly basis. There are various rewards via Patreon. And like I said, I'm trying to get the Den Discord chat and everything going through with that. So you go to patreon.com/The Den Show. Shout out to Stina Starry-Eyed. Shout out to Dan the Man. Shout out to James Martin. And shout out to Miss Goya. And I appreciate all of y'all coming through. So, is it 35? Word? I ain't even been paying no attention. Let me see where we at. 'Cause I saw the other day it was somewhere in the vicinity, but where we at? Hold on, let me push these buttons real quick and see what's going down. Hey, we're growing then, man. We're growing. Oh, word, 3506. Okay. Man, there we go. Congratulations to y'all. What are you talking about? This is y'all, man. This is our community. So as we continue to push and continue to grow, we can only get better, man. So it is what it is. Look, Hey, Kanisha, hey, you in Dallas. So we don't want to talk about Dallas and what Dallas do. You like, yeah, I heard that accent. And that's what let me tell you, I love the calls and I love the fact that H-Town, I fuck with y'all. Y'all already know what it is. This is where it's at. But I love to hear the callers from all over the place because the accents are so interesting. And sometimes I'll be in my mind trying to guess, all right, this person from Louisiana, this person particular from New Orleans, or this person, you can tell Miss B. Morris from Baltimore. So again, I bet I love hearing the accents. I love that shit. So with that being said, except for that one, you had no idea that one was from Canada. But anyway, I'm gonna stop, man. I'm gonna stop. But Dallas with the bus stop gangs. Anyway, but with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all for providing me this opportunity daily. It is a pleasure, an honor, a privilege to get to chop it up with y'all, and I sincerely mean that. I may say it every day. I'm tired of this nigga Honcho saying that shit. I sincerely mean it every day. It is a privilege to get to just to have these conversations, and we will continue on as long as things continue to go. Hey, you know, it is what it is. But with that being said, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I'm finna go get me some lunch, go fuck with Scotty, hit the streets for a little bit, take care of a couple of things, and get back in here and drop some content for y'all. So I appreciate it. I thank y'all. And like I said, y'all ain't got to go home. Y'all better stay y'all ass at work. Y'all don't get fired. But I'm gonna get the hell up out of here, man. Thank y'all. Then folk, y'all make this great. This is why this is the best conversation on the internet. I'm out. Man, y'all gonna leave my man Dan alone, man. Straight up. I can't talk no shit though because I fucked up and called Ashley. I thought Ashley was white the other day, so I fried it. I still feel really bad about that. I still feel real bad about that. I'm damn. I was talking about them the other day. Y'all do my boy Dan bad, and I backed door and did the same shit. So players fuck up. I'm gone, man. We out.